you whining about?
Don't know.
You got water?
I didn't bring it out here. Didn't think of it.
I'll get it.
Okay. Yeah, for a change, you do that. Hey, guys. We're off to another wonderful start. I'm trying to find us. There we go. Here. Okay. Hey, Gainesville. We're struggling with Buddy here. Okay.
Come on, buddy, don't.
Come on, sit down. Okay.
Here?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh. I think you're hitting the live button. I don't know whether it's working or not. No.
Okay. Wonder if that fan is going to put a bunch of wind noise in here.
I don't know. Can y'all hear that fan? Is it troublesome? Hey, Barbara. Craig. Rich A says, hi from 72 degrees in Warminster, Pennsylvania. Well, 72 is nice. Yeah, very nice. It's, that's a pretty, I said, we haven't got down that far at night yet. We're still working our way down. It's like 76, 75, something like that early in the morning. And hadn't got much lower than that. So I think it's next week we're going to get some temperature fluctuations. Going to be down in upper 80s for a couple days. So I don't know if that's the weather changing, because October's perfect weather. And we're in the middle of September here. So, but yeah, I think we're going to get 88, 87, something like that for the end of the week, so, which would be very nice. Cool in the morning, nice in that 70-degree mark, and just been beautiful morning. This morning, the full moon, and it was up for a good while. You could see it, and like I said, the sunrise didn't happen until like 7:15, something like that. So like I said, I took pictures this morning of it, and I didn't get a very good picture. My phone didn't take very good pictures.
Get your foot on his leash.
I know. I was trying to keep him.
Well, that's what makes him mad.
Oh, well. Trying to keep him corralled.
He's on a 6-foot leash. How much more corral do you need him?
That I don't want him on a 6-foot leash. That's why I said that's the long leash. And I usually keep him on the short one. But hey, John Hogan, how are you? Christine Lynch, hi from Dabney. And KM says it's nice here in Port St. Lucie. Yeah, it's pretty nice here. I mean, it's beautiful weather. It's like I said, we're not getting the rain yet. That comes in the evening. So far, we've been doing between 3 and 7. Like I said, in the middle of summer is between 1 and 4, and now it's between 3 and 7. That's okay by me. But like a lot of people like to go at the square night. Been pretty perturbed because it's been curbing all the activities at 5. So. But like I said, we always need the rain. In this heat, you got to keep things watered, so we need the rain. So I can't really complain. And Ron says, hi, hey guys, happy Porch Sitting Wednesday. Mr. Rizzo says, hey Skip and Sue, we just finished playing golf. You guys are golfers, that's for sure. And like I said, every morning you're out there playing golf. No,
this kind of weather.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you go out there and have a heat stroke.
Yeah, it's pretty nice out there in the morning, isn't it? So like I said, this is just getting to the part of the day where it's starting to warm up. And I think our high today is supposed to be 90. 91.
Yeah, that's a word I've heard people use 100 times. You're gonna better get in here. You're gonna have a heat stroke. I remember Mom telling Dad that. Get in here before you have a heat stroke. Is there really such a thing as a heat stroke?
Yes.
I mean, you can have a stroke because of the heat.
Yes.
A real stroke. where the right side of your body's dragging, is paralyzed. I had a heat stroke. I never heard that.
Yeah.
I think heat stroke is just a word we use for something else.
Well, if you've ever
Like you're
seen anybody that
dehydrated.
had it,
I was dehydrated to the point of almost passing out. That wasn't a heat stroke. It's just dehydrated.
okay. Well, any of you doctors out
Yeah,
there
any
know?
doctors out there, nurses out there, tell me, is there really such a thing in the medical journals that defines what a heat stroke is?
I think it is. It's not what you generally would know as a stroke, but they call it a heat stroke. That I say,
I've never heard a doctor call
I've
it a
seen
heat
people
stroke.
pass out.
I've never heard of a doctor calling it heat. That's what I go by. I don't care what your grandmother called it. I want to know medically, is there such a thing as a heat stroke?
I said, well, we'll just have to see. And I said, I'll Google it later.
You know, back in the day, they probably called cancer some kind of a curse. Or you got the St. Vitus curse.
I remember your mom in the St. Vitus dance. That was...
Yeah, she called, I can't think what that.
Parkinson's.
Well, but there's another, well, anyway, whatever the disease is that cause you to shake a lot, and I'm not making fun. God, don't send me any comments. We're just talking about our parents. Back in my mom's day, it was called the St. Vitus dance. I don't know why, but that's all Mom ever called it, was a St. Vitus. And she wasn't picking on anybody. She said, leave Uncle Harvey alone because he's got the St. Vitus dance. And that's all I ever heard it.
Yeah. I had never heard that before she said it, so it was kind of a surprise to me. So, of course, I had to go look it up.
She also called bell peppers mangoes.
Yeah.
That was a shock for me when she sent me to the store one day to get some mangoes, or bell peppers, or whatever it was you sent me to the store to get. And I was trying to tell the guy at the store what I wanted, and he took me over there, and I said, no, that's not it. Mangoes. Oh, yeah, you said it. Mom sent me to the store to get some mangoes. I said, okay. So I went to the store, and this is all I knew growing up. That's all I ever heard them called was mangoes. Yeah. Ron even told you his mom called them mangoes.
My mom called them mangoes.
So I went to the store and told the guy, I said, where's the mangoes at? I got to pick some up. I was probably coming home from work or something. I was in a hurry. He said, oh, they're right over here. And he walked over there, and he said, right there they are. He said, take your choice. I'm looking at those ain't them. Yeah. He said, yeah, those are mangoes. I said, no, they're not.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is about that part of the country, but my mom called them mangoes.
But I was just looking up and down the shelves right there, and I said, there they are right over there. And I walked over there, and that's when I seen the sign about green bell peppers. And I thought, oh, my God, they're not even called mangoes.
Caveman 770 says, heat stroke is a condition caused by the body overheating. This usually happens because of exposure to high temperatures or physical activity in high temperatures for too long.
That's what people say, but that's not what I'm looking for. Is there a medical definition of what heat stroke is? I mean, I know your dad probably told you that. I know your mom probably told you that. My mom told me that, but that ain't what I'm looking for. I'm thinking it's just one of them things we just made up.
Yeah. KM says, I have our thermometer set on 77 and I'm still cold. I know what you mean.
How much do you weigh? That's not a good. I'm not supposed to ask that now. Well, I just know that real skinny people are always cold. My sister, she's as skinny as a fence rail, and she's always cold. Unless it's 90 degrees outside, she's got a sweater on or something.
Yeah, and 77 to me is pretty moderate. So, like I said, when it gets below that, I know when I was up north, it was in the low 70s, and I was freezing. I had a jacket with me everywhere I went. My son laughed. He thought it was the silliest thing. But when you get used to the heat, you do that.
But I don't think you get used to the heat. You get acclimated here. So, we still got a fan. So it ain't like, you get used to it really, but you make things comfortable. The thing you don't get used to, and I don't think you get acclimated to it either, is the humidity.
Yeah.
Because you can sit out here sometime, and just like Jose, there's a guy from
Puerto Rico.
And he's sitting out there and he calls it porch sweating because the humidity was so high.
Yeah. Caveman says heat stroke needs emergency care. If it's not treated, heat stroke can quickly damage the brain, heart, kidneys, and muscles. This damage gets worse the longer treatment is delayed.
Well, I know that, but ain't what I'm looking for. Is there a medical definition of what heat stroke is, or is heat stroke really any medical condition at all? I've never heard a doctor use that term, heat stroke.
Well, Kelly B says, hi, Skip and Sue. Kevin says, beautiful in the villages. Yes, it is, Kevin. It's
Who's that?
It's nice out here. Kevin.
Kevin who?
Kevin Jacks.
Oh, that's right.
What'd you do that for?
You guys take me way too serious out there sometimes. I'm always jacking around. I always act stupid. People call me on the phone sometimes and they'll tell me, say, hey, we like to come to Porch Settin. Well, how do I get there? And I go, who is this?
Let's see. T.S. Houghton says, never called peppers mango in the Midwest. We always did. And I say, I don't know why, but.
Probably because my family are a bunch of hillbillies.
Well, and we were from Indiana, so, I consider that Midwest. But I don't know. Don't have any idea where it come from. And I said, we lived in Indiana, but we were in different towns and what have you. But my family called them mangoes too.
There's a lot of things in Indiana I think are just, when you're raised around it, you don't think about it. But I think it's just kind of like a Midwestern kind of thing. Deep fried breaded tenderloin sandwiches. Everywhere else we go, they never heard of what we're talking about. They have no idea.
Yeah. And I seen a post today. There were some people from where I used to work, and they were talking about, where I went to school, and they were talking about what happened, years ago, and the restaurants we used to go to for lunch when we was in school and stuff like that. And they remembered Della's burgers, and I remember her tenderloins. Now everybody's a little bit different, but it was one of those little cafes in town, and we always went in the back door. To get to the restaurant part. Nobody ever said a word. We come from school, so we went the quickest way.
That hot dog place there in Fort Wayne's that way.
Yeah.
We walked right through the kitchen.
Yeah. Coney Island's
This is
that
a
way.
famous place, man. There's pictures of movie stars in there. And what's his name, the car guy? Jay Leno.
Mm-hmm.
He goes in there every year. Every year he goes in there.
Yeah, because the parking lot's in the back.
Well, but he goes there because of that car auction up in Aurora, Indiana. Where?
Auburn,
yeah. Goes to that auction.
I don't think they have that anymore. I don't think they have that anymore.
I don't know, but I know he went there every year for that.
Joe says, are snowbirds starting to get back to the villages yet, or does that happen after Thanksgiving? No, they're coming now. We have several neighbors that's come that are snowbirds, and they're already here. And they'll be leaving again for the holidays. They'll go home for Thanksgiving or go home for Christmas or what have you. But as far as coming down for the winter, they're coming back. And the biggest share of them wait until after Thanksgiving, but not all of them. Especially the ones from Canada. A lot of them are showing up just right now.
Usually Canadian people start showing up fairly heavy around October, which actually is a good month for weather I'm talking about. And I'm noticing in the news every week it seems like there's one or two more golf courses getting open. They had a lot of these golf courses totally shut down all summer long because they were complaining about the condition of the course, and they were terrible. But they get overplayed because down south there is no golf courses that really amount to anything. So they're all coming up here to play, and they're just over. They're going to have to start limiting how many people per day can get on a golf course.
But now they have been closed recently because of water.
Well, that's
because
true.
That one storm we had that stayed, it put a lot of water out there, and a lot of these golf courses were already full. All the ponds were already full, and most of them are on golf courses. And they've been letting water out. If you've been going down either Morris or Buena Vista, you've seen water squirting out because they've been lowering the water in the ponds. But that's why a lot of them's been shut down, and because of the water, it's caused a lot of damage that they've had to repair.
We have had a lot of rain this year. Well, mainly because of that storm.
Yeah. Kelly B says, "Nice hat, Skip."
What's the matter with it? That's my police hat. I always like to.
Kelly B.
Oh, this is her hat. Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's a police officer in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
Oh no, Kansas City, Kansas. There's a rivalry there.
Look at the hat.
I like to rub her the wrong way.
Craig says, so based on Sue's definition, Skip has had many heat strokes.
Let me tell you though, I did get dehydrated when I first moved down here, and I started that little golf group for our neighborhood. It was in the summertime. I'm retired. This is why I like to put the warning out to brand new people, because I know how it is when you first get here. You're excited. You want to do everything all the time. Well, I was playing golf every day, 7 days a week. And I didn't care what time of day. I put in like 6 or 7 golf courses, and I know they'd approve me for one of them, and then I'd go play on it. Well, one day we was playing some course, I don't know what it was, and it was really, really hot, and the tee time was like, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So, it was pretty hot. And so I was riding with somebody, because we always put 2 people per cart. That helps protect the golf course, in case you guys don't know. Put 2 people per cart. Don't go out with each one of you in a cart. That's twice the traffic on that grass. So anyway, I told the guy, I said, I'm going to skip this next hole. You guys go ahead and play. I'm just going to sit this one out. He said, why, what's going on? I said, I don't know, man. I just feel dizzy. I just feel, I don't know, I almost feel like I could puke. I mean, I hate to be graphic, but that's how I felt. And about that time, a guy, don't even know who it was. To this day, I don't know who it was. He came walking up to the golf cart with a bottle of water, and he said, here, you need to drink this. He said, I think you're dehydrated. I don't even know why he even thought I was that way. I wasn't talking to the guy. He never heard me, I don't think. So anyway, I did. I was thirsty, and I drank that bottle of water, and within 2 minutes, I mean that fast, within 2 minutes, I felt 1,000% better. So I think I was dehydrated.
Yeah, and then, in Florida weather, you can get dehydrated without even realizing it. I mean, doing a little bit of nothing, but if you're outside, especially if you don't perspire a lot, because that's a lot of,
Well, but I do. Well, if you got water in your system, that's perspire.
Yeah.
If you don't have any water in your system, you won't.
Yeah, but like it's really easy to do down here, and you don't even realize it. So that's a big issue. Like I said, if you've not been down here very much, then make sure you're very dehydrated.
Yeah, we always tell people, pace yourself. Don't get crazy with all this stuff there is to do around here. There's over 3,000 clubs. You're not going to do them all anyway. After the first year or two of being here, that's when it usually sets in. Well, I like this, but I really don't do that much. I don't really care for that. This takes up too much of my time. That is too hard for me to do, blah, blah, blah. And you'll get it narrowed down to 1 or 2 things a week, and that's it.
Yeah, and don't think sitting at the pool makes a difference. You're out there in the sun. I said you can get dehydrated at the pool just as easy. So
I don't even go to the pool anymore for a lot of reasons. But I'll tell you something for you guys to know. I'm going to check into it. I may buy a what they call priority pool membership for me and her. I might. Only because the closest pool to me, priority pool, is Evans Prairie right back here. And I think that pool is shaded. I think the roof goes over the pool. It's right next to the bar. That's good.
Yeah, that's always good in the sun.
Yeah. And I think the pool is shaded. And if it is, I don't know what it's going to cost. I have no idea, but I might look into it.
Okay. Well, Deborah Bird says, hello, Skip and Sue. How are you both doing today? Watching from Lake Denham and now retired. Well, good for you.
Hey, Lake Denham.
Yeah, hey, Lake Denham. Isn't that where Sean Paul is? Yeah, if you watched...
He's down there somewhere.
If you watched our Porch Settin a couple of weeks ago, we had a couple guests. One was Kevin, and the other was Sean Paul. And I believe that's where he moved to, was Lake Denham. Yeah. They're fairly new down there, so if you run into him, say hi. And I said, let him know that we're friendly here.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, I've got your emails about going down there and video and stuff. I really haven't went down to the newer area to video stuff. There's enough YouTubers down there that does all that kind of thing. And, what am I going to do? Another golf cart ride that you've already seen 15 times. So the odds of me going down there and doing a home tour, first of all, on home tours, I got to be invited. I just can't walk into a house. And you can't go to show homes either and do it. I've tried it. People get in the way. They talk around you, and I just don't want to do that. So I'm probably not going to go down there and do any video. And
I am going to take the bus tour though, because I want to see what they've got to say about the new area. And I haven't been down there since they started touring down there. But I just thought it'd be interesting.
Interesting fact. I was thinking about something yesterday. I do the news. Well, I read the news to you. I don't do the news. I read it to you. And that seems to go over pretty good, so I'll probably keep doing that for a while. I throw my little opinions in there once in a while, just to be different, and just to get you guys riled up, because the more I get you riled up, you put comments down below about how you hate this and you hate that. Well, guess what? I get credit for all that stuff you're putting down there. So that's why I do that. But I forget what I was going to say.
Oh my gosh. KM says,
I know what it is. Let me say it real quick.
Okay.
I think national news is almost dead. I watch a lot of it. What else are you going to do? How do I get any information on what's happening around the United States or the world if I don't watch national news? So I do watch a lot of it. But when it gets to the United States, and the United States is all political right now, it's just all political. I think our national news is almost dead. They've almost slit their own wrists. And I'm noticing that more and more of the big news people that either left Fox, got fired from CNN, all these different nations, they're starting their own YouTube news channel, and they're doing great. I think that's the way our future news is going to be. It's going to be independent people. Is that Jacobs? Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is he changing the thing, or is he reading it? Looks like he's going to change it. Yeah, they're going to change all of our meters over to some kind of a stream where they can just drive by in a pickup truck or something, and it reads all your meters that quick.
Yeah, you don't have to have a meter reader.
I don't know how accurate that's going to be. We'll find out, but he's over there changing stuff now. So anyway, whatever I was talking about, it's true. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's all. I think if you want to watch like Tucker Carlson, for example, because he hit the news big when they fired him. I think he fired him or he quit. I don't know. He's got his own YouTube channel now, and it's huge. And that girl, what's her name? She got fired from Fox, I think, or she quit Fox. Can't think of her name. Blonde hair.
The list is long. I don't know. And then I said blonde hair. How many correspondents on Fox is not blonde?
Oh, I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know. I don't watch that much. I don't really watch the news on TV that much, other than I like to see what's going on happening in Ukraine. I like to see what's happening over in Iran, because that's going to be a threat, not just for us, but for the world. It's going to be a threat if we don't somehow get control of this. But anyway, yeah, I think you're going Fox News and all this stuff. One of these days, they're going to sell out. They're going to sell to China, and then your Fox News is going to be from China. You laugh, but I'm telling you, TikTok. That's where 90% of Gen X gets their damn news is off TikTok. TikTok is in partnership with China to even have that. So that's why our congressmen and things right now are constantly looking at ways of either getting control of TikTok, or as far as I'm concerned, they could make it illegal. Just get it out of here. But no, we got constitutional rights.
Okay. Barbara Ebner says,
how many comments I'll get now? Remember, I get about a nickel for every comment that you guys do down there. So you just keep making them comments.
Barbara Ebner says, I agree, Sue. We rented last year in October. It was beautiful there. Yeah, October is a beautiful month here. It's not cold. It's not rainy. It's just wonderful weather. It really is. So.
Well, for us it is, because it's more of a Midwestern type temperature. The humidity goes down to normal, which is like, what, 40, 50%. So the humidity's gone.
Yeah.
And then it'll start out kind of cool in the morning, maybe even a little fog. And then it gets up to in the 70s, maybe 80 during the day, and then back down to the 50s and 60s at night. And that's the way we were raised. So.
But now that doesn't come until about December. Yeah.
Well, we don't know. I mean, look at the temperatures this year. They've been crazy. You might not even see them cold temperatures this year.
That's true.
The way things are going.
That's true. And this has been the hottest year in the Midwest. I mean, it's still 80-some degrees in Indiana. You know, and then for the middle of September, that's, you know, for high 80s, that's kind of pushing it. We always talked about the Indian summer, you know, always about the last week or so of September.
That's racist.
Huh?
That's racist.
Well, that's what they always called it, was Indian summer.
That's racist.
Really? Okay.
Who is they?
Everybody.
I didn't.
Well, they had it on notebooks, on calendars.
That's racist. If I was an Indian, I would sue you.
That's all right. William says heat stroke is when your body's telling your brain it's time to go in the air conditioning. Yes.
What about the air conditioner?
He said heat stroke is when your body is telling your brain to go in the air conditioning.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I think about that. But I mean, you're in the middle of a golf course, and let me tell you what. Golfers are a weird breed, and I was one of them, and I kind of still am. Nothing gets in the way of the game. I'm telling you. Doctor appointment, what time? Well, I can't do that. I got a golf game that day. And that's what happens.
Yeah. Kevin wants to know if he can borrow your golf clubs.
Yeah.
Yes, Kevin.
I got two sets. Which ones you want? You want the tailor-made, or do you want the ones I had made for me? I think it's the 6, 7, 8, and 9 iron. Maybe it's the 6, 7, 8, 9, or maybe it's the. Well, anyway, a lot of the irons are hybrids because I hit the ball better with hybrids than I do irons.
Yeah. Come on over, Kevin, and we'll figure it out. Okay.
By the way, if you get that golf bag and you're digging around in the pockets looking for a ball or a tee or something like that, if you happen to find a hearing aid, bring that to me. I've lost one.
T.S. Houghton said, "What did you call hot dogs in the Midwest?"
I don't know. I'm not a hot dog fan. I never have been. I mean, I will eat them, but I'm not a big fan. When somebody says Nathan's are the best, I just take their word for it because I have no idea. Now Sue was.
Yeah.
When she was pregnant, she used to eat them raw. Well, I call raw.
I still do every once in a while.
Disgusting.
And I said I don't eat meat that much, but every once in a while I'll be craving hot dog because I grew up with them. You know, my dad and I, that was our thing on Saturdays. We would take Mom shopping, and me and him would go to the soda fountain at S.S. Kresge's. I probably told you this before. S.S. Kresge's had a soda fountain, and we'd get a foot-long hot dog and a cherry phosphate. And the only other place I've found that is up in the mountains where Linda lives, in Julian. They had a general store there, and it was the same way. You could go to the soda fountain and get the cherry phosphate.
You know, if I lived up there where she's at in that town, I'd probably go to that place and have lunch quite often.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, that's a neat little place. It really is.
I got me what did I get? A cherry phosphate. When was the last time you went to any store and could actually order a cherry phosphate?
That's why I said I haven't had them since I was a kid, and I had two when I was there.
I had two of them when I was there.
Yeah, because they're just that different. And why they don't offer them anymore? Well, we don't have a lot of soda fountains anymore, but you would think a place like Coney Island or someplace like that would have the cherry phosphate, and I just haven't seen it. They made it. It didn't come out of a bottle. It was made in the little machine, where they squirt it in your glass or what have you.
Oh, they probably made it against the law because somebody discovered that it could cause cancer.
Well, that's possible, but anyhow, it was very, very good. And then if you're waiting to see if we say wieners, no, we never call them wieners. We always said hot dogs.
Wiener.
Well, I mean,
that's almost dirty.
A lot of places they do. They call them wieners.
Wieners.
That's the name for them, actually. But yeah, I said we never call them that. We always call them hot dogs. And
Megan Riley, that's it, Chuck. Megan Riley, that's who. She's got her own thing now on YouTube.
Well,
and they got sponsors out the wazoo. I've been checking on them, man. I mean, they got big time money makers on there.
Is it Riley or Kelly?
He says Megan Kelly.
Kelly, you said Riley.
Or did I know? Megan Kelly.
Yeah, I was thinking Megan.
Then the other one is the Riley guy, the guy. He's kind of boring, I think, but he's got a good channel. Bill O'Reilly. He's got his own now.
Yeah, but he's been on for a long time.
He's got his own channel. So that's what I'm saying. The big names that was on these news channels that you see on Channel 8, Channel 6, whatever, they're leaving because of it's just getting wacky out there.
Yeah.
Wacky doodle. Who do I know used to say that? Wacky
Your mother.
doodle. Who?
Your mother.
Maybe, I don't know. Wacky doodle.
Who may RJB says, I just bought in Calumet, move in October 2nd.
Cool.
Looking forward to it. Cool. I hope you love it up there. That's a beautiful area up there. It really
Make sure
is.
you didn't buy up there by the sinkholes.
Yeah. Hopefully you didn't buy it near a
There's a certain
sinkhole.
area up there at Calumet Grove that's been infested with sinkholes for 10 years now.
And we don't want to scare you to death because it is a beautiful area.
No, we don't. And I do know as of right now, they're up there digging up a big area where there's been another sinkhole. They've declared a house up there today as being uninhabitable because another depression popped up. So just make sure. Actually, I think you may want to check with your realtors because these laws change all the time and I can't keep up with them. Call Ira, he'll tell you. There used to be a rule, and I was told that by my realtor at that time, that if your property touched, your land edge touched another property that had a sinkhole on it, it had to be disclosed on your disclosure. So just make sure, that's all.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you buy something and then,
Yeah. But otherwise, congratulations.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a beautiful area up there. We've got a lot of friends up there. And yeah, I said, I know you'll love it. Let's see. Joe says, nowadays it doesn't matter what the temperature is. If you're in direct sun, it's like being in an oven here in Central Florida. Anyone else notice that? Yes. Yes, it is.
It does seem like it's been hotter this year than Well, I haven't. I wasn't born here, but I've been coming down here for 30 plus years, and so I have seen a difference in a lot of things. Weather's not one of them. But when you come down for a week or two for vacation, the way it is the way it is. You just assume, I guess, that's the way it always is.
Yeah.
So I can't speak for that, but I can tell you the 10 years we've been here, I think this has been the hottest summer that I can recall.
Yeah. When I remember coming down here for vacation, and you look at the newspaper, they got them in all the hotels. And I look at the newspaper, and every day it said rain. And I thought, oh my God, our vacation's going to be ruined. It didn't really, I said it rained for a few minutes, and it was serious rain a lot of times, serious rain. But it didn't ruin anything because the sun would come back out and you just go on. It cooled it down a little bit and just go on about your business. It was one of those things, that you just get used to, and it wasn't that bad.
But see, that's what my channel is all about. I think some people take my channel the wrong way. The Villages channel I'm talking about is this. I got it earmarked as educational. Just tell you guys how it is, the good, the bad, the ugly. Take it any way you want it. But now, if you come down, that in the summer months, hurricane months, that you're going to have rain every afternoon, basically. Every afternoon, probably not. There's a day or two you'll miss it. But, I mean, all in all, every afternoon for 20 minutes or so, it's going to rain. And you won't be shocked when you see that paper and it shows rain every day, every day, every day, every day.
And
That's what it is.
I just thought, oh, our vacation's ruined. And I heard one of our neighbors was in Destin last week. And they said that it rained every day that they were there. It kind of put a knot in what they were intending to do down there. But still,
they're getting ready to install some stuff.
I know.
For Jacobs, I'm getting ready for this new meteor thing.
Yeah, okay.
He went by, and then that truck came by.
Well, I know the electric company did a redo of something.
Well, I think if I read the report right, a lot of the villages down in the newer area south, like Lake Denham and all that down there, they've already got it.
Oh, okay.
We don't have it, so they're paying all this money so they can.
I'm just hoping it doesn't monkey around with the money.
It is funny how government works. They're getting right in this year's, I think September 30th or something, October 1st ends this fiscal year for them. And so in order for them to ask for more money for next year, because inflation, they have to spend what they got this year. And if they got a surplus, oh my God, we got to buy something. What are we going to buy? Let's buy a police car. Then we can ask for more money next year.
Oh, Vinny wants to know how's Tom Hall doing. Well, I haven't talked to him for
I ain't talked to him for a long time.
But he bought a bigger camper. I don't know what kind. If you go to his channel, because he's not been doing many videos for a while. He was really happy with the home that he bought there in Idaho, and so he hasn't been doing much traveling other than just right around.
Can't believe what he says.
But anyhow, he bought a bigger camper.
When he came down here in Florida from California, he loved it down there. Oh my God, I made such a great decision. Oh, this is lovely. Oh, I love it down here. 2 years later, I hate this place. I got to get out of here. I got to go up north. Oh, I love this place. He's all over the place.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm hoping, that he does a little bit more, because I love watching his traveling videos. If you guys have ever seen them, they were very unique. And he got really fluent with his drone. So he could do some beautiful pictures, of walking down the beach and what have you. And
I got a picture of his drone shot. He crashed it into a waterfall.
Well, yeah, that too. But like I said, everybody has a mishap when they start with those things.
I never did. I never crashed mine one time.
Well,
I know my limitations. Here's what happens with drones. And I think any drone person out there will tell you that. If you've got a really good drone, there's a system that keeps your control connected to that drone. These systems are different. You want to make sure you get the really good one, and I don't know the name of it. I know that, I can't think of the name of the company. But anyway, there's good ones out there. And you never fly beyond the line of sight. And people do it all the time. I said, where's your drone at? Well, they're looking at the thing. I think it's over there somewhere. They don't know where it is. They can't even see it. That's your problem.
Yeah. EB says, hello from Aaron and Haas, the boss from Ocean City, Maryland. Love your videos. Big fans.
Maryland.
Oh, great. We have a lot of neighbors from Maryland, actually.
I got a friend that's up in Maryland, Delaware right now with I want to say about 40-foot fifth wheel they just bought, and he likes it up there. Said the restaurants on the coast has been great. Campgrounds has been kind of an issue because everything is so small. He said the streets are narrow. They have a lot of 13.6 underpasses. I said, you know, that takes me back to my trucker days. That's why I told my dispatch, I am never going anywhere past Pennsylvania ever again.
And then the one thing we did find going up the coast was the internet was terrible. I mean, you wouldn't think. I mean, we come from, you know, from the hills in Indiana, and I'm telling you that the internet along the coast was awful. Now, all the way up, we went as far as Washington.
No, I went all the way up to Hershey, Pennsylvania, but that wasn't our original goal. Our original goal was we was going to go all the way up the East Coast to I don't know. We didn't have really a destination. I was just moseying, and I just thought I'm just going to go up the East Coast and see what there is to see.
Yeah, because there was a lot of places up there that I'd heard about that I wanted to see, and we just didn't get that far. The traffic was terrible on 95.
Internet was awful,
and the internet was awful everywhere we went. So, let's see. But anyhow, great to have you. We're glad that you're big fans, and like I said, we don't do anything important here. We just sit and talk, just like you're sitting on the porch with us. If you got questions, like I said, we'll try to answer them. If we can't, we've got enough people on here that they love to tell you. They can probably tell you better than we could.
I don't know if I got any Discord members. So yeah, Rizzo, he's a Discord member. Boy, our Discord is really collecting quite a few members on there.
Yeah.
And I've watched them talk about all kinds of stuff that I can't answer. That's the whole idea of having that. You can ask other people about things. I don't know. Sue may not know, but they may know. One of them was, they were asking about a certain street, wanting to know that if they've changed it to a one-way.
Yeah, I remember that, and I had no idea.
I have no idea.
And then she asked about 75 and 91. I don't even know where 91 is.
91 and 75, here's how that works. Go back to the day that interstates were being built. Yes, I'm that old. When they were being built, they have to look for a route to make this interstate to go from point A to point B, like 69, Mexico to Canada. Well, when they went through Indiana, they weren't sure how to run this highway without spending billions of dollars on buying people's houses, forcing them out, with court costs and all that stuff, and put the highway through there, tear the house down and everything. So here in Florida, what they done, I think, was it 91 or 95, whatever 75, and there's two numbers there, 75 and like 91 or something. On the north side of Florida, that's where 91 was at. The state already had control of that. And then it goes down to Tampa, probably somewhere that way, because that's where 75 goes, north to Tampa. And so instead of going around and spending a bunch of money buying all these other routes, they took 91, expanded it. They probably had to buy some property along the way. And then so 75 and 91 is basically the same road. They run together wherever they go down there, and then 91 will split off and 75 will go the other way.
Okay, and now what is the turnpike?
75 is a turnpike. Are you talking about a toll road?
No, I mean, I've just heard people talking about the turnpike.
75.
And I know where you get on 75. I know where you get on the turnpike.
Once again, people make up these names. There's really no such thing as a turnpike. It's an interstate. That's what the government said it was. That's what it still is to this day. But then we said, well, it's a turnpike. I don't know where that term come from.
Okay.
But the turnpike and interstate's the same thing.
Okay. TJC wants to know if Tom's coming for a visit. Not that I'm aware of.
He ain't coming here.
Like I said, I haven't. Like I said, I haven't talked to him for. Last time I talked to him, he showed me all the blue ribbons he got for his vegetables coming out of his truck patch in the backyard, and he was at the state fair and he got all these ribbons. His tomatoes look beautiful. So too bad we're too far away. I'd love to try him. As far as I know, he's not coming this direction.
The only thing I'd like to have is some good, fresh. But she went to Sam's the other day. This is the stuff that it just irritates the hell out of me. Sam's ain't like across the street. You got to go up there and fight that traffic to go in and get your stuff. And she brought a box of peaches. And in the box, they look really good. And I like fruit, a lot of fruit. Beyond popular belief out there, I'll eat the dickens out of fruit, good fruit. So I grabbed two of these peaches, and I started cutting them open, and I took them back out in the kitchen. And I said, where'd you get these peaches? She said, Sam's. I showed it to her. Outside looks good. Cut them open on the inside. They're starting to turn black. They're rotten.
Yeah.
And this happens in the stores around here all the time. And I know because I used to haul fruits and vegetables out of California back to the warehouses in Indianapolis. And I know what the guys did on the dock. Every now and then, no matter what you brought them, there's a guy that every so often he'd reach in, he'd grab something, he'd cut it open, he'd look at it and throw it aside. And that's what they're supposed to do. Somebody at Sam's is not inspecting any fruit whatsoever. And you get it home, you cut it open like an apple. You cut an apple open to see a worm crawling around on the inside of it. I've seen that twice. This is disgusting.
Yeah. But like I said, they look good on the outside. And then they didn't have any qualms about giving me my money back when I took the...
Listen.
What do you listen to?
You hear a truck running?
Truck or motorcycle?
Hmm?
Truck or motorcycle? Because today's Wednesday. I know they ride on Wednesday.
It sounds like a big work truck running around here.
Yeah, okay. If it is, it's over on Earl.
It just goes to show you, I am not deaf. I choose what I want to hear.
Oh, okay. So if you're not going to blame it on hearing loss, you're in big trouble. So, well, I got two people now wants to go on the bus tour with me. Great. Deborah and Craig, let's pick a day and we'll all go. Just don't do it on Wednesday. Benny says he agrees with the news. Chuck says smart meter. And Megan Kelly, overjoyed. Megan Kelly, yeah.
I don't mind that meter thing, by the way. I'm just curious about the accuracy of it. When you're driving by something, I mean, I don't understand how that works. Maybe they'll be accurate. But as a Teamster, I have never been educated to put people out of work. Out of the hundreds of people that they got in these golf carts that goes around, and that's their job. And most of them are women, by the way, that read our meters. If they do this truck thing driving around, how many of those girls are going to lose their job? That's what I hate about the self-service thing at Walmart, self-checkout stuff. That used to be somebody's job.
Yeah. Overjoyed says, maybe I'm old, but I don't get the appeal of TikTok. It's kind of one of those things.
It's because it's a Gen X thing. It is. You're right. I'm too old too, but I do go there and I look around because it's kind of interesting to see what's on TikTok, knowing it's a Chinese-based company.
It's a time killer.
And
I mean, if you're sitting at the car wash or if you're in the doctor's office, it's just something to fill in the blanks. That's all.
What you want to do is go through there and flick around through there, and when you get to something that looks interesting, keep in mind Chinese propaganda.
Right.
I've read so much stuff on there that I personally know this is BS. But if you go down to the comments, look what they're all saying about it. They agree with it. Oh yeah. Oh, that's the truth. That's the truth. No, it ain't.
Oh, we don't want to get on that part.
No. I ain't talking politics. You have to flip around to find this stuff.
BX
like, okay, here's one. The gorilla attacked this woman, and I'm looking at that going, no, it didn't. It was a chimpanzee, not a gorilla. So what does that tell you? Somebody that don't know the difference between gorilla and chimpanzee, or they don't know how to spell that, aren't from this country, and it's propaganda.
Yeah. BX staff says hurricane next week. Yeah, there was a...
That's over by Texas, right?
No. Next week. There's one way out in the
well, they don't know where it's going
ocean yet, and so it hadn't said exactly where it's going to go yet. But
here's the hurricane map for today.
Yeah. Elaine Scription says, I don't know why, but we always called it Indian summer. Don't know why.
That's racist.
Well, I don't care. That's what we called it. Overjoyed, the first cool front hit the Florida the third week of October, timed with Oktoberfest. Yes, pretty much.
By the way, being a racist is not illegal. Just so you know. In this country, you got the right, the freedom to be friends or associate with anybody you want or not associate with anybody you want for any reason you want. They may not agree, but it's not illegal. DJM
says, what's in Skip's coffee mug today? He's wound up.
By the way, did you see where they put Puff Daddy in jail? Federal crimes? Yeah. I always thought he looked a little shady. Really, he's got that look, man. He's just got that look. Okay. How many times have you seen people on my news channel where I'll talk about drugs or whatever, and then their picture pops up, and they just look like a druggie? See, there's the noise I told you I heard. Truck, right?
Coming this way?
Bowls.
Yeah, that's yard maintenance.
But I told you I heard it. Sure.
Okay. Hey, Laura. She's just joining late from Chicago. Bill says, hi, S&S. We'll be down there at the end of October for a lifestyle visit. How will I fare on the golf cart path with the rental they provide with the house? Can I put a please be patient sign on the cart?
Well, on the golf course, you don't have to worry about it because if you're like everybody else, you're going to be going to the right, going to the left.
Yeah, well, when you get out in the street, you can guarantee that somebody's going to say something if you've got a rental car.
Yeah,
Now, some of them are decent, but most of them are turned down very slow.
Well, didn't Sean say that he must have got a good one because his would run 20 mile an hour? But before that, everybody we ever talked to that got a golf cart with a lifestyle visit rental thing,
yeah,
they were all telling us 13 mile an hour,
yeah,
which is like
13 to 15 is.
I think I can walk faster than that. But Sean said he must have got lucky, so his would do 20. If you can do 20, you'll be fine.
And if you put a please be patient sign on the cart, that'll probably work, actually. People will know.
You don't want to know what sign I had to put on the back of mine.
Deborah Birch says, I've been in Florida since 1964, and I think it gets hotter every year. Well, it's one of those things. They talk about the climate change and what have you. I don't really know if, this year, every year is different. Next year might be hotter, might be colder. You just never know. So, yeah, go to Daddy. Oh,
He's hanging around there.
I thought you unfastened him. Okay, he's a good baby. Yeah, and Laura says carry an umbrella if you visit during the summer months. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. An umbrella or a hat. Always have a hat. Because this sun it's a scorcher.
I see quite a few umbrellas on a hot day, walking around town, girls shopping. I ain't never seen a guy with an umbrella, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of a sissy thing. Guys won't take an umbrella. Nah.
That's why everybody has a damn baseball cap.
That's why I wear one.
Yeah, it doesn't protect your ears.
But you top your ears. Dad had it in his ears, so you should have, truthfully, if you're going to be out in the sun, you should have one of them brimmed hats.
Yeah. Need a bucket hat.
Yeah. Well, no, we ain't big enough. We need something that, I don't know what they're called, but they got a big brim that goes around them.
I know, you got a really pretty straw one in there. It says Villages on it. You've never wore it.
What?
So you've got a real pretty straw one in there. It says Villages on it, and you've never worn it.
That's because that was Dad's. You bought that for Dad.
Oh, okay.
So I don't wear it.
Okay. Kevin says we've had the same forecast for 3 months. Yeah. And Chuck says they're swapping meters. Yeah, I thought maybe that's what they were doing because I knew it was coming. Didn't know when they were going to do it. I just hope it's accurate, because they've so many people has had problems with their water bill. And I said, if you think about it, your between your water and your amenity fees and your trash and the sewer, and that's almost up to $300 for us now. It's not quite, but almost. And some people it's more than that, depending on what size their yard is and all. But we
first moved here, I was watching the bills, monthly bills that they don't talk about, trash, all this and that. But I remember the electric bill. First 2 or 3 months we was here, our electric bill was only $80. I have no idea what it is today, and I probably don't want to know what it is today. But it was $80.
Okay.
What is it now?
Well, I said I pay them all at one time. I don't separate them. And I do know when I've had stuff to put out, big stuff that they've had to pick up, they charge you an extra $10 for it because it's a different truck that picks it up.
I was going to say, we don't have the same trash company either. When we first moved here. And down south, they changed theirs too.
Yeah, well, we'll all have the same thing here shortly. They're going to.
Well, that's what I mean.
The same company.
Whatever we got now, that isn't the original company that we had when we first bought here. All this is bid out. Whoever comes in with the best bid or whatever the case may be, we have no say-so about this. That's all done by the developer and his companies or the district supervisors or whoever. They decide on who's going to do all this. So if you think you've got some say-so around here, you just wait.
Peter Jones says, if you are a snowbird, would a 1.5 car garage be enough, or would you look for bigger?
I would say here's what I say. Get the biggest garage you can afford.
But if they're going to be snowbirds.
Well, I don't know what he's coming down here with. I mean, but yeah, we had a patio villa, and that's basically, it's not a 1.5 car. They call it a car plus golf cart garage. And a lot of the 2-bedroom, if you're going to be a snowbird, 2 bedrooms is just fine too. We looked at courtyard villas, and they're called car plus a golf cart. And if you're going to be a snowbird, just
You're not bringing 2 cars down.
Yeah, don't bring 2 cars down, and
And make sure if you got a truck that it fits in the garage.
You know, you'll be fine. I mean, that's what I wanted to be with a snowbird, and you never know, we may end up being that anyway. But yeah, you'll be fine. Just kind of minimize that. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're one of these, what I'll call trash collectors. And there's people that come down and they got to buy everything that they see. Oh, this is a deal. I got to get it. Do you need it? No, but it's on sale. I got to have it. You know, that could be a problem because storage in any of these homes, I don't care which ones you buy, is always an issue. That's why I always say get the biggest garage you can, because that's where you can store a lot of stuff.
Cindy G says, postpone my trip for this year. It just put my father in assisted living. Hopefully next year. Well, honey, we feel for you. You know, that's hard. When you get to that point, it really is hard. And I said, we'll still be here next year. So
unless we die.
Well, unless we die. Overjoyed says eminent domain. I don't know what that refers to. So
that's how they take your house. That's that law that I don't agree with. Yeah. We were, in my life anyway, that right of eminent domain has been pushed on us twice. And I didn't want neither one of them. Neither did my dad. They took half his farm away from him as they were building I-70 halfway through his farm. And that's when Dad had to sell the farm, because the property he had left, he couldn't produce enough anything on it to make the farm payments and whatever. Yeah. So he sold it to a neighbor. That well, he's gone too, but his son owns that to this day. So the right of eminent. I remember coming home from work one day, and there was a guy there, and he says he was with Bell Telephone. If you guys remember Bell Telephone, and I think they were getting ready to change over to AT&T or something. And he said, we want to put this line through your yard. I don't know what you call it, fiber optics, to change everything to fiber optics. He said, we're going to bury it. He said, don't you think that'll be a really good improvement? And I knew he's up to something, because he's trying to be real nice to me. I said, well, it'll probably work a whole lot better, I guess. What do I know about it? I'm just a working guy. I don't know about this stuff. He goes, well, he said, we want to know what you thought about us taking a line and coming right through your yard. I said, what part of my yard? I said, because you got an easement out there by the street. You can come in like 3 feet or something like that. Why can't you just put it out there? Well, we can't because of this or that and blah, blah, blah. I said, where do you want to put it? And it was right through the middle of my front yard. Now, in my front yard, that's where my septic tank was at. We're out in the country. That's where my septic tank was at. That's where my field tile was at. We had some big trees right there, and they're going to cut the roots on these trees. So I said, no. And I told him why. No, I don't want you coming through here. And he looked right at me. He goes, he said, we can always go to court and get the right of eminent domain and do it anyway. I said, well, you're going to have to do what you got to do. So thinking, as soon as they send me this thing, if they're going to do that, I'm hiring an attorney. I'll tie this up for years if I have to.
Oh, he wants your cookie. Yeah. I wonder what he was whining.
And they didn't send me anything. Next thing I know, I come home from work one day, and there's a dump truck parked in my driveway. I can't even get in my own driveway. And rubber band around our mailbox out by the road was this paper from the sheriff put out there from the court saying, and a $25 check was on this paper saying they were coming through on this specific date. And I had to stay out of the way, not be in any way, make sure it was clear, or I could be subject to arrest, all this stuff. So I called the company up and I told them, I said, well, I see you went to court and I wasn't notified about it. You're going to do what you got to do anyway. But it's one thing is you don't have the right to be parking your equipment on my property. So you got about 2 hours to get out here, get this dump truck out of my driveway. I am a truck driver. I know how to drive it. I will hotwire this thing and I will park it out in the middle of the road. Get it out of here. And they did. They came right out and moved it. So, and then Dad lost his farm. So me and right of eminent domain, that right of eminent domain, I know what it is and what it's supposed to be. But in my way of looking at it, you own the property, you pay taxes on it. If you don't want to sell it, you should have the right not to sell it. And they should not have the right to say, well, we're going to take it.
Angela Levescu says, where do you have, when you buy a house in the Villages, why do you have to buy a bond?
You don't have to buy the bond. The bond comes with, that's on brand new houses. Even pre-owned homes could have a bond, but much less because they've been paying on it for years. Some homes have no bond. They just pay it off. That's just the way it's set up.
It's what puts in that's what pays for your infrastructure.
Yeah.
All the stuff that they have to put in, your streets, your gutters, all that kind of stuff. That's what the bond pays for.
I don't have any more,
And
buddy.
like I said, some of them has already been paid off because a lot of people don't want that. They pay the house cash for their house, so they don't want to have to pay a bond, so they pay it off. Up in the northern area, you can find a lot of houses that the bonds are paid. But yeah, it's an important part because the developer is not going to fork out that money to put all this stuff in. So the bond comes with the house. And like I said, unless it's been paid off, everybody has one, except for there's an exception of one area in the historic section that did not have a bond. They didn't think about that ahead of time, I guess, but it did not have a bond. But everybody else has, and that's what it's for.
Well, that was the argument back then, because the developer back then, he paid for all that himself out of his pocket, and then sold the houses probably at a higher price. Now, if they get a $30,000 bond in the whole area, who knows how many millions of dollars that is, they can start putting in the roads and all this and that, and they can sell the houses cheaper because you put up the $30,000.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of time people say, I can buy a brand new house cheaper than here or there. And it's because a lot of the other places don't have the bond thing.
Yeah.
So the true value of your house, whatever your bond is, add that bond to the price of your house, and that's the true value of that house. So when they talk about property taxes, they always say assessed value of your house for property taxes. That's not true value.
Okay. And TJC says, can I ask how much your homeowner's insurance is?
$23,000 a year. I'm going to get them comments at a nickel a piece, man. They're going to type them things in there.
No, right now we're paying like $1,400. And I said we don't have a huge home. And I said, and it's for a certain amount of money, in which I'm thinking of changing this year because of that, because it's only insured for a certain amount, and the price of the houses went up. So I want to make sure that we're covered.
Yeah, and keep in mind also, because this is something else that nobody ever talks about, that $1,300 a year includes my sinkhole insurance, which is an add-on. That doesn't come with homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
Catastrophic ground collapse comes with your homeowners insurance. So depending on what sinkhole insurance you got, in other words, did you buy $1 million policy, $500,000, because these sinkholes sometimes can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix. And if it's on your property, you're responsible for it. Yeah. So that includes that. And why did I pay for that? Somebody asked me that one time. So why you get sinkholes? They've never had a sinkhole in your area, blah, blah, blah. Well, we've never had a fire in our area either, but I still got fire insurance on the house because you just don't know.
Yeah. And I said, you can guarantee if I go somewhere else, the price is going to go up. Because I said, I want it insured for more than what it is now. And so the price is going to go up. But between $1,400 and $1,500 is what we pay now.
You want to know what true value is on your house? Ask a contractor what it would cost to build that house over again, not including the price of the ground.
Yeah. Oh, Godfrey says it's called selective hearing, Skip.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
My dad had it too.
Yeah, but he does have a hearing problem.
Dad was sitting there, and he had hearing problems too, but he'd sit there, and Mom would be out there carrying on. I'd look at Dad, and Dad said, she's out there cackling again. That's terrible. That's all. Overjoy says they're closing down the self-service checkouts at Walmart. I don't use them. I'm not on their payroll. I don't use them either. Who's that?
They're shutting down the self-service checkouts at Walmart.
They should, because all they do is they get robbed all the time from them damn things.
Yeah, and they found out it wasn't as easy as they thought it was going to be. And people were complaining, and people weren't using them, which made longer lines at the regular checkouts. And people were scamming them so much, they were losing so much money that, yeah, they're changing back. I'm hoping all the other places that thought it was brilliant to go to self-checkout change their mind. I think the small grocery Walmart that we have here down in Colony, last time I was there, it was all self-service. So I never went back there. So I don't know if it's changed or not. I'm hoping, I'm hoping it has changed. So if they do all of them, but yeah, it was a poor way to do business. If you make everybody that goes in there mad, because they got options, they can go other places. So
I'm trying to think which club it is. one of these shopping clubs like Sam's, but it ain't Sam's. Which one does Skippy and them go to all the time in Fort Wayne?
Costco.
Costco. That's a club member thing.
Mm-hmm.
Costco now has a thing to where, and I don't know how it works, to where your credit card and stuff is attached to your pass, I guess. So when you get up there, this machine, I guess, knows who you are. And so it opens the door and lets you in. If you ain't got your stuff on it, it won't open the door. And once you buy all your stuff and you walk out, there's no cash register in there at this place. Now, I'm not saying one in Fort Wayne, but Costco's working on this system. Once you walk past this area, it automatically knows how much stuff you've got in your cart. It automatically charges your credit card, and it automatically will open the door and let you out.
And I'm able
That's
to do
gonna be
that
the
now
future.
at Sam's Club. I don't use it, but they do have the capability to do that just with the app on the phone.
Yeah, that's going to be the future. I don't like it, but I
Yeah.
can see because of all these rash burglaries and robberies and all the stupid stuff going on, I can see stores doing that.
Laura says it's time for a monthly employee lunch, food from Latin America countries today. Well, that's just incredible. Like I said, that company is very good to you guys. Yeah.
I don't know why she wants to quit. She never works. She's
Austin,
always at lunch or always on a boat cruise somewhere.
So I said they're awful good to you guys, just once a month. So, okay, where'd it go? I lost it. There it is. Austin Sullivan.
Is Judy home?
I think she's supposed to be home yesterday, so she might
I haven't
be.
seen her for
The
a couple
paper's
days.
gone, so I think she's here.
Oh, okay.
She must come in the middle of the night, so she's probably still sleeping.
She's gone all the time.
Austin Sullivan says, have you ever ordered groceries from Kroger and had them delivered? No, I never have. I've come close, but
Publix. We did it at Publix.
Yeah, we have all the stores, but Kroger doesn't have a presence here.
No.
And I figure if they want my business, they're going to have a store here. So like I said, I don't want to do it all online, or I do it at Amazon. But I've heard people say they're wonderful, and I've seen the delivery guy sitting at the postal station till decent time to deliver. But I have never used them for that reason, because they don't have a presence here. If I'm going to order out of a warehouse, I'm going to order Amazon. It's just the way it is with me. So, okay.
I know when her leg was broke, that I think neighbors over here, but they weren't here full time at that time. They still lived in Pennsylvania, and I didn't even know what was going on. But anyway, so they knocked on our door and handed us a bag of groceries that she ordered for her because she knew she couldn't go to the store. And apparently, I'm incapable of going to the store.
They were being sweet.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going through it, and it gave me my first look to see, do they give you? Because somebody asked me that, and it's a good question. Do they bring you all the stuff that's getting ready to go rotten and get it out of the shelves and home delivery that way? And I thought, that's a possibility, but no. Everything in there was like really good looking stuff.
Yeah, because they really, the Instacart and those kinds of, they're not affiliated with the store itself. One thing I don't like though is trying to get through the aisles in Walmart, and there's 10 of these people with the big carts picking stuff up for other people. Like, it's hard to get down the damn aisle, but other than that, it's wonderful.
You know how to get around that? I know how to get around it.
Don't go to Walmart.
Order it.
Oh.
Let them pick it up for you.
Well, and that's what I usually do at Sam's Club. Because I can't pick up stuff. So when you want those bottle
She's complaining
Cokes,
about picking up my Cokes. That's what she's complaining about already. My Cokes.
it is for one, it's a lot more expensive than the regular ones. But another, I can't pick them up. There's no way I can get them in the cart and then get them in the car. So
Here's exactly what was said the last time. She said, I'm going to go up to Sam to get your Cokes. I'm sitting there thinking about it. I go, how much is a case of those Cokes? Because I don't know. She said, $36. I said, wow, that's a lot of money for a bottle of Coke. How much is it if you buy a case of cans, just regular, Coke cans? And because I remember going over to CVS or someplace, and they had them on sale for like $5, or maybe 2 for $5. It wasn't very much. She said, well, I don't know. I said, well, I think it was $5 for 12, so that'd be $10 for 24. Because my Coke in a bottle comes in a case of 24. I said, I just get them in cans. So she comes home later that day, and she says, your Cokes are in the back of... She doesn't buy... I told her to get the stuff in the cans anyway.
And I probably will from now on, because you can get 35 for like 18 if you buy the cans. or like I said, for 24 of the bottles is 34. So yeah, I probably will
Now,
buy
wait a
the
minute.
cans.
No, it ain't 18. They come 12 to a pack over there. 12 cans. 2 cases would be 24. My Cokes comes in 24. You got to compare apples to apples. Not 18 to
But
24.
the canned Coke, they come in 35, and it costs you $18.
How do you figure 35?
That's what they have on their website, Sam's Club, because they're like $5.99 a piece or
Well, I
something
don't know
like
anything
that.
about that. I was just going by what I saw at CBS over here.
Oh, okay. Well, anyhow, it's a lot cheaper to buy them plain, but
You
I
hear
get
that noise?
Yeah.
It sounded like a little bit louder. That is the guy. I think that's the guy. Not only does he mow your grass, he's got a sweeper on the back of it that sucks up all the grass that he cuts.
Oh, okay.
So it leaves your yard, so you don't have any of that.
Right. Okay.
Wonder what he charges. I'll fire Jose like that.
Yeah. If you go look at the back porch, you might anyhow.
Huh?
They said go look at the back porch.
He didn't blow it off?
No. And the Pat's New York says Costco is coming to the villages next year. Yes, they are. I'm very excited. I've got a Sam's Club card and I've got a BJ's Club card. And I very seldom go to BJ's. I do every once in a while for the gas prices. And this week at Sam's Club, I got gas for $2.77. In which what it's running at most
What
of
is
the
it,
filling
BJ's?
stations. Huh?
BJ's has the cheapest gas.
Well, that's what I said. When I need the cheapest, I go to BJ's. Otherwise, I don't use BJ's that much.
How much was it at BJ's?
I don't know.
Your Honor, let me treat this witness as a hostile witness. She's not answering my questions directly.
I was already at Sam's Club, and so I went ahead and got it there. It was $2.77. I mean, how much cheaper
Where is
you want
BJ's?
it? It's just down the street from Sam's Club.
On 441?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't go up there.
Yeah, it's by the Lowe's and Cracker Barrel up there.
Yeah, nah, I ain't going up there.
When I said, when I come out of the hospital, I'm right there. So, but
I know everybody, that's all they talk about is gas prices today at BJ's.
Yeah.
BJ's. So that must be the cheapest place around.
Well, and I said,
is it below 3 now? In Texas, it's like $2.69.
It's not in the gas stations, but it is at BJ's and Sam's Club. They always
it's below
are lower.
3.
Yes. I haven't paid over 3 in months because I go to one of those. I don't like making the trip, but, I'm always over there at least once a month or twice a month for my treatment. So since I'm over there, I might as well go. And I said, I fill up the car and it lasts me usually about a month because I don't go nowhere. Okay. The Past New York said we have a brand new store 30 miles south of the villages in Claremont. Yeah, I know. And I just never bothered to go that far. I mean, I know Costco's great. Everybody loves it.
We're going to get a Costco.
Yeah.
Let the comments go. Just let it go.
Yeah. And I just never bothered going that far for it because you kind of defeat the purpose if you're getting a good deal, but you have to drive 30 miles to get to it. So
that's what kills me. My mom used to do that. My poor dad. Mom never drove. Never had a driver's license her whole life. And Dad would, every Saturday, that's what Dad did. He'd take Mom wherever she needed to go. Grocery shopping, go pay the light bill. Remember the days you went to the light company, went inside, paid your light bill, and they stamp it? Anyway, that's what Dad did all day Saturday, take Mom all around everywhere.
Yeah.
And
my dad did too.
So things have sure changed now. And I think about that when I see how things are going now, and I just wonder sometimes, you take somebody that was, say, old like my dad, and they have hearing problems and maybe a little bit of dementia going on, how in the hell are they going to pay their bills? If they got no family, how in the hell are they going to pay their bills? Because they couldn't do any of this. Have the people, well, I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of people like my dad, he wouldn't be able to do this phone.
No. But, it's, it is what it is. Okay, let's see. Let me see.
When's the Canadians going to get back?
I don't remember when they said. Sometimes it's fall, but I don't remember exactly when. Overjoy says Amazon tried that and promptly ended it. So that's letting people go with, they're just charging things on their phone. Yeah, they promptly ended it because there was too many problems.
Well, Starbucks does that with their phone. If you got the app, I paid my Starbucks bill with my phone.
Yeah.
You get a cup of coffee, they scan it. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Well, this and people were being charged for items they did just because just by moving it from the shelf to read the label, and they were getting charged for it. So.
Oh, you mean on that automatic thing?
Yeah, yeah.
So if you take a can off the shelf and just look at it, it scans it.
Yeah, not always, but sometimes.
Well, the ones I'm talking about, it doesn't scan anything until you go out the door, and that's what opens the door.
Yeah, because at Sam's Club they got a reader there that looks at your receipt and then looks to see what's in your card. So yeah, that's
Maybe we should go back to all cash transactions. There's no mistake there. Oh, that's right. The kids nowadays can't do change.
Austin Sullivan says Kroger is direct to consumer from the warehouse in Groveland, with Instacart is third party, and they mark the price up from what it is priced at in the store. I've never, I've not used it a whole lot, but I have used it, and I gotta say, when my leg was messed up, not only did they bring the groceries, the lady come in and she put them away for me because she knew I couldn't get up.
So, well, I'm not a big Kroger fan anyway. You'll never see me go into a Kroger because they busted the Teamsters union there, the drivers that used to deliver to the stores.
Oh.
They started hiring outside contractors and laying off the Teamster drivers. There was a big thing in Indiana about that. So I'm just not big on doing away with jobs. And it just seems like the American public is. They're not lowering prices or anything. They're just doing away with jobs.
Okay. William says that's a bargain for Cokes. I used to pay $60. Wow.
$60 for gas?
A gram.
Let the comments go.
Okay, I got you, William. The family man said, I ordered online from BJ's and just do curbside pickup. No time to walk those stores. Figure I'll give people work. Yes, and that's what I do. Sometimes I go in the store because I'm kind of curious. They have a lot of prefixed meals that I look at. I haven't bought a whole lot of them, although I do like the shrimp scampi, and I buy Buddy the rotisserie chicken, and I know it's probably not the best thing.
Let me tell you what. I'm going to tell you the facts. I don't care if you're a dog. I don't care if you're a cat. If you live in the villages and your owner is a villager, they have a good life here. Somebody says about somebody mistreating dogs, and there's no animals here being mistreated.
No.
I'm here to tell you. The only thing that I would concern myself with, and it doesn't really happen during the daytime, not here anyway, is if you're new and you have a dog and you take him for a walk, do it early in the morning or later in the evening, because that pavement out there gets extremely hot. And just remember, your dog paws can get burned. And that's the only thing that I would say is that.
And be kind to your neighbors, and don't let your dog go in their yard. I mean, I know that their instinct is to go on grass, but they don't have to. You're in charge of the leash. And I said, when I walk Buddy, I don't let him in people's yard. And one of the neighbors told me the other day it was okay that I could let him in the yard. And I said, no, I don't want him to get used to that, because I don't want him in other people's yard. I let him do whatever he wants in my grass.
Always ask yourself the question, are you leading the dog or is the dog leading you? I see so many people here with their dogs, and I watch it. That's like, that dog is telling that person where it wants to go. I saw a lady one day walk way up into a guy's house, all the way up next to the front door with his dog, because that's where the dog wanted to go. I just thought that was silly.
Well, I think it's pretty rude to do that, actually. So,
is this the one you read a while ago, or William saying that's a bargain on Coke? I used to pay $60 a gram. Oh, never mind. It's
William. You have to think about it. Yeah. The Path New York says, I work for Costco. When they do come to the villages, I'm going to transfer to that store and join my sister there. Well, good. And I said, I said, everybody loves Costco. I haven't heard a bad thing about it. And I said, this week at Sam's Club, they were actually repaving the parking lot. You talk about a mess. I mean, it's a mess even when they aren't doing anything to the parking lot, because there's just not big enough parking lot. But this time they were repaving half of it. So you had to go all the way over to Texas Roadhouse, to the road there, to get in, just to buy for a parking space. So it was a total mess. But fortunately, I've got the patience of Job, so I was able to get what I needed. And I said, I buy Buddy the rotisserie chicken, And I said, everybody says,
My
you know
dog
what?
gets a fresh rotisserie chicken every 2 weeks.
Every week.
He eats a whole chicken a week?
Yeah.
What do you do with his dog food?
He doesn't eat the dog food. Well, he eats the dry food every once in a while.
When we got Buddy, by the way, he's a down in the hills Kentucky dog. He didn't know what chicken was. He would have been raised on dog food. He'd have been happy with dog food, and he would have ate dog food. This is what I'm saying. She decided, not the dog, that dog food ain't good enough for this dog. We got to buy a fresh rotisserie chicken. God forbid we go traveling.
Well, he was raised on grain-free dog food anyhow, and he will eat the dry dog food sometimes, but he prefers the chicken. And I bought it at Winn-Dixie.
He's picky, and you know it.
I know. I bought it at Winn-Dixie, and he doesn't like it.
Just like treats. He only eats certain treats, not all treats. He will eat my cookies. Today he did. I don't mean tomorrow he will. Tomorrow he may smell it and then walk away.
Yeah, guess whose dog he is? Does that sound like me? No. Okay. Let's see. Mr. Rizzo says,
Is Rizzo's back in the Keys right now? Weren't they going to go back to the Keys this month, or is it next month, or November?
I think next month.
Because he got his house rented out, and there's a certain month he always goes back down.
I don't know the situation right now, so I think they're going in October maybe, but they won't go full time until maybe the first of the year, January, February, March.
Oh. Elaine Mersky says Tupperware's filed bankruptcy.
Really?
Man, Tupperware's they're out of Ohio.
Well, they've got so many different companies that's making that now, like the Rubbermaid, and you see it on QVC. They've got all kinds of when Tupperware came out, they were the only ones doing that, other than the cheap stuff you get at the dollar store.
My mom loved Tupperware.
Yeah.
The guy came to her house like every week.
And I really like Tupperware too, but I'm not above going and buying something cheap that I can throw away next month either. So,
the problem is, you just keep buying when you don't really need anything. I can go in that house right now, and find enough glasses, probably for 50 people, drinking glasses. I can find enough cups for coffee, probably for 30 people. We never have 30 people here. So my mind always says, why have we got all these cups?
A lot of them are gifts.
No.
Yes.
All them Villages coffee cups is what we bought.
Well, yeah, the Villages coffee cups what we bought. But like
all them clear glasses up there is what we bought.
There's 6.
Huh?
There's 6.
But there's more behind it.
Yeah, because I said.
And then we still have the old Tupperware glasses even further back behind those.
You want to clean my cabinets? Go ahead.
Every time I do, you bitch.
Well, like I said, because you
every time I get sick or I leave for a day or two, the first thing he does is he rearranges everything, and then I don't know where everything's at.
You do, and I said, you're 6 foot something, and I can't reach anything. I mean, last time I couldn't even reach a step in the refrigerator.
Out in the garage is your step ladder that you bought.
I'm not getting a step ladder out. Like that
little thing that opens up and it's got 2 steps on it.
I know what it is.
You bought it.
I know, but I'm not getting that out every time.
So you're saying you bought something you don't need?
I bought it for a lot of things, but it's not getting stuff out of the cabinet.
It's been sitting out there for 3 years.
Can we talk golf clubs?
I don't use them. They're sitting out there. I'm going to get rid of them eventually.
Yeah, okay,
you never know. I might start playing golf again.
Okay. Vince Garver says gas prices are down. Funny how that happens just before elections.
That's true.
Let me tell you, Vince.
That's true.
The president really doesn't have that much to do with gas prices.
Oh, that's weird.
Go back and look.
Oh, that's weird.
Go back and look. I'm telling you,
I'll tell you what, every president, care who it is, when it gets around election time, everything gets better. All of a sudden, everything just gets better. Gas prices, the weather, I don't know.
Do we care why? As long as it's cheaper.
It's just that it just seems weird that if they could do it now, why couldn't they do that a year ago? You know, it's just like they say, well, we cut property taxes. Well, if you could cut property tax this year, then why did we raise them 25% 2 years ago?
Yeah. Okay. Overjoyce's Public once tried direct-to-consumer warehouse model and it failed. Don't remember why. Well, I think for the same reason. And I said, now Kroger's got a big presence in most states.
Indiana
Kroger is it Kroger and Albertson that's trying to merge, and the government is actually trying to keep them from merging because they think that'll be a monopoly. I think they're right. Like I said, I don't want them to control all the prices when they
Oh,
get
that's
that size.
monopoly, but FMK Foods ain't. See, you're saying
That's
exactly
a
what I did.
restaurant. That's not a grocery.
It doesn't make any difference. A monopoly is a monopoly. It doesn't say monopoly of this, or that.
It's not a monopoly. Look how many restaurants there is here.
No, not in the villages. There's restaurants around the villages. In the villages, it's becoming a monopoly.
Country clubs, yes.
It's going to be a monopoly in a city.
Well, okay.
I already wrote a letter to the governor.
When said what?
I don't know how far to go, but hey, I wrote one.
Fred says,
my question really was to the governor was, it's been a couple of years now, but I want to know, why wasn't there an investigation when it was reported that Representative Haig, which is supposed to represent people in his district, was on the developer's payroll at a tune of something like $300,000 a year. I could be wrong about that. It might have been 160. I'm not sure. And it was never investigated. And then once that came out that he was on the villager's payroll, that he decided he wasn't going to run for re-election. But to this day, Haig's son, by the developer, was appointed a position down in a new area down there as part of the board down there.
Okay. Frank says, aloha means hello and goodbye and love and compassion. My favorite Hawaiian word. Hello, happy campers in the villages. Thank you, Frank. We are happy campers, actually. No, you wouldn't know that, but
why wouldn't you know that?
Well, because like I said, you get carried away sometimes.
I don't get carried away. I just tell you what I'm thinking.
Okay.
There's no script here. This is not an act. We didn't have it written out.
Claire May says, I understand, Skip, about places trying to get rid of jobs. We are behind you with the union. Didn't know Kroger did that.
Yeah, if you've never been in a good union, big union, I've been with two. I was with the UAW and the Teamsters. Then you don't understand how the contract talks go and what the company, you can see it when you do the contract talks. If you're there, you can kind of see what the company's up to and and so we're always trying to, as a union, you're always trying to plan protection of your employees for the next 5 years. And if we do this, that means in 3 years from now, the company can also do this. And it's all something, you don't know any of it really, but you're just covering your ass. And so when I see this self-checkout stuff, that's the first thing I think of. How many jobs did they just lose right there? Yeah. And some of them women, you don't know. You always talk like you got sympathy for these people, but I always say, truthfully, I don't think most Americans care. Because some of them women up there were single mothers. They needed that job. That might have been their second or third job. They're trying to do right. And we said, no, we'll do your job for nothing so you can leave. And I'm just not for that.
Yeah. Well, me either. Like I said, I don't, the one time I did have to use one, and I said it was the only time I did because I turned around and never went back to that store.
There goes Jacobs again. You see it?
Mm-hmm. When somebody says Jacobs isn't doing that. Huh? Jacobs isn't doing that. They aren't the ones changing.
That ain't what the report says. You'll see it. You'll see it on the news. I'm working on it.
Okay. The pastor says, been in that Sam's Club with my sister. I know exactly where it is. Yeah, it's right on 441. It's amongst all the restaurants and the 441. It's kind of one of those places you don't want to drive if you don't have to. And I said it was just terrible that I drove around this place. I went all the way. I usually go behind Lowe's and go in that way. And both those entrances were closed. So I had to go back out on the highway, go down to the light, make a U-turn and come back, and then go in to the entrance where Texas Roadhouse is. That's how I got in there. And then when you get in there, I said parking was a premium. And I'm telling you, people were like sharks in there. And I got cussed one day when I took a parking place in there. So I wasn't going to do it again. But I really didn't have any problem finding a parking space. I guess I was lucky both times. Because the first day I went and I got the peaches, the second day I took them back. So I had a pretty good parking place both times, so I didn't have anything to complain about. But it was a madhouse.
Question for all you people, real quick. If there's a Texas Roadhouse in your neck of the woods, what time do they open? We went to Texas Roadhouse with friends of ours a couple weeks ago. I think it was a couple weeks ago. And we're going to have lunch there. And so I said, make it around 1 o'clock, because I always like to go right after the lunch. Because like Sue said, people here are like herd animals. So 1 o'clock, they're usually piling out, and you can go right in. And they're all sitting outside. It's what's going on? It's not open yet. It doesn't open until 2 o'clock. I think that's the stupidest hour I ever heard. People go. Nobody eats lunch at 2 o'clock, and nobody goes to dinner at 2 o'clock. So why are they opening at 2 o'clock? I'm thinking the one we had in Muncie up there opened like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning to get things going. The crowd came in at noon, dinner, and like at 10 o'clock at night is when they closed because it was always dark.
I don't have any idea. I don't remember what that one up there was, but it was odd that they didn't open until that time.
Yeah, it was
I
really
would think
weird.
at least 11.
Yeah,
In most
something.
places, it's 11 o'clock or 11:30, and so I expected that. But they know their customer better than we do.
Well, they're making $1 billion a year. Who am I? I'm nobody. They didn't ask me. But I just thought that was kind of a weird hour.
Austin Sullivan says, "Do you two have the same political views?"
No, we're opposite. She's
No,
Democrat. I'm Republican.
absolutely not.
Actually, I'm not anything. I've always been, I guess you call it independent. I vote for whoever I think is going to be the best, I think, for the country. Not necessarily me and my agenda. I don't really have one or I have no power of anything. But I see what's wrong with the country, and I look for the person that I think might be able to fix that. No guarantees they'll fix anything. But that's who I would vote for is that. And so that's how I vote. I don't care if it's Democrat. I don't care if it's Republican. I don't even care if it's an independent, which you know that the Kennedy boys, his name Robert Kennedy Jr. I think he was going to run for independence, but he got pushed out. Not sure how this political thing works, but it's weird how all this stuff works. But he got pushed out. I might have considered voting for him, not because I agree with everything he says, but he had some points about some things. One was about sick children, and I've been saying that for years. What the hell's going on in our country anymore that all these kids are sick? I mean, in my lifetime, who in the hell was allergic to peanut butter? There's something wrong that we're getting all these different allergies and things.
Okay. Hey, Carol. Carol Madigan says hi.
There he goes again.
Over George says no one has more of a monopoly than telecom companies. We have a choice:
That's what I was
Comcast
laughing
or
at.
Comcast.
She's right. I've heard this complaint down there before. Your choice on your cable is Comcast, Comcast, or Comcast.
Yeah. Or and she wants AT&T fiber.
It'll probably get down there eventually because it didn't get here right away either. And then they came in later and they did it. But I can't speak for that down there because the district rules, that's all set up by the developer and your Wildwood commission over there. And so whatever they've agreed upon, as far as I know, maybe Comcast is paying Wildwood commission $1 million a year to have no competition. We don't know that. But I do know the one thing you can do. One thing you can do is you can stream. So if you've got internet over there, you don't need nothing else, just internet. And you can stream anything you want.
John Keller says, beginning of September, they stopped oxygenating fuel and the process fee comes down. Yes, every year they've got a summer fuel and a winter fuel. And it changes the price. You know, like I said, I don't think it has anything to do with the president.
I don't think it has anything to do with Florida.
Everywhere.
We don't have winter fuel here.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. That's a made-up fallacy.
No, there's summer and there's winter.
That's for diesel, so it doesn't gel up.
No.
Cars, maybe in Alaska and stuff like that. Maybe
did you hear what I read?
We don't have a winter fuel in the state of Florida.
They stopped oxygenated fuel, and the processing fee comes down.
I don't know what oxygenating.
I know you don't.
What is that?
Well, like I said, it's.
You don't know either.
And James Carlton, no, Skip isn't angry today. He's just mouthy. I mean, you guys think he's mean because of that.
Comments below.
But like I said, he just rattles on sometimes. Let's see, Denise Laverty says,
there was a convention. There was a convention at the Democratic Party. There was a little boy. This is an old Reagan joke. There was a little boy out front, and he was selling the little kittens because the family needed the money. And so he asked everybody that went to the door, he said, would you like to buy a Democratic kitten? And everything. So 2 weeks later, there's a Republican convention in town. And the same little boy is out in front of the store or place he's trying to sell these kittens. He asked everybody, he said, hey, would you like to buy a Republican kitten? And there was a guy there that happened to be at the Democratic convention, and he went up to the boy and he says, hey, so didn't I see you at the Democratic convention? And then they were Democratic kittens. He said, what makes them Republican kittens today? He goes, because now they got their eyes open.
Bad joke. Okay. Denise says, I'm in Michigan and gas for a few days was $3.19 a gallon. This week is $3.44.
What did Kevin say a while ago?
Time for it to go way
Kevin
up
said
again.
at BJ's was $2.77.
That's what I paid at Sam's.
Same price?
$2.77.
So Sam's and BJ's are the same?
Pretty much.
Huh.
Oh, and she said, what a joke. Nice to listen to you both. Oh, Denise, sometimes I want to throttle him. I really do.
Who?
You.
What'd she call me?
She didn't call you anything.
Oh, I thought you said she called me a dick.
Well, if the shoe fits.
That's what I heard. I mean, see, I hear funny things. It's like, oh, Sue, that Skip is a dick.
Oh, and yes, BJ's was $2.77 yesterday too. So, Overjoyed says, you two make the villages seem way more attractive than the village's happy paper cheerleader YouTubers. They make me think the place is Stepford Wives like. Yeah,
Hey, life here's good. We've always said that. Life here's good. And like I said, my YouTube channel is earmarked education. All thing I'm trying to do is give you the full picture. Look, I did 100 golf cart rides. I've done 100 home tours. I've done everything that everybody down there is doing, except they're doing it in a newer area. And you guys want to know about that, and that's fine. I'm probably not going to go down there because to me, it's all getting kind of boring. But the thing that nobody ever does report is everything that's happening kind of like out on the outer edges. That's going to impact you here big time because we have a free square. And a lot of these realtors around here and the apartment buildings around here are promoting everything because they say we're only 10 minutes from this or that.
Yeah.
And so when you're going to go down the square, especially during Snowbird season, and you go down there and find out, I got to park a half a mile away from this place. I can't get a golf cart down there to park anywhere. I mean, it's going to happen. And I just want you guys to be aware of this fact.
Yeah. Well, and I said, we're not glued together. We spent a lot of time apart, actually. He was on the road a lot. And so we do things on our own.
Yeah, by me being on the road a lot means I got to see what's really happening in the world, and she lived in a fictitious world inside the house.
Like I said, we learned to do things on our own. We didn't always have to do it together.
Yeah, I had the kids. She raised them.
You had the kids.
That's what they always say. It says whenever
you give me
whenever a woman goes to the hospital, it's always we're having a baby. You can't say she's having a baby. It's not political correctness that your side started.
My side.
You're a Democrat.
Okay.
A Democrat.
Okay. Caveman 730 says 3 p.m. I don't know what that means.
What?
3 p.m. 4 p.m. weekdays in Kansas City. Okay.
I don't know what that means either. 3 p.m. West Central Ohio. You're going to have to explain yourself, Ken. I have no idea what that means.
JFK Head Chunk says, how much is weed there? Asking for a friend.
Oh, I know what that means. 3 p.m. Oh, when I asked what time do they open.
Okay.
So his opens at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Let's see. Walter
Kansas
says
City is
opens
4.
up at 3. In Kentucky, it opens up at 3. That just seems like such a weird time.
Yeah. And I don't know how much weed is.
How much? Wheat?
Weed.
Marijuana?
Yeah, he's asking how much is weed here.
I don't know. I never bought any.
Yeah.
If I wanted any, I'd just go down to Tommy's house. He don't have any either. He's got the marijuana suckers and the candy and the fruit bars and whatever else they got.
Deborah Bird says, yes, I paid $2,600 and have flood and sinkhole, but I have a big designer corner on the water. Yeah, and it's good to be covered, and like Skip always says, whatever makes you sleep at night. But we do have both. We have sinkhole insurance and the ground collapse insurance, because that usually comes, the ground fault comes with most insurance policies. The sinkhole is an added thing on it. So, but
Caveman said 3 p.m. too, so maybe that's it up north. Why is it 2 o'clock here then?
I don't know. And one in Kansas was 4. Like I said, it's up to them. They know what their customers are. So, but yeah, whatever helps you sleep at night. And I said, we've got our sinkhole coverage because of that. And I said, you're in Florida. It could happen anywhere. So, Walter S. says, opens at 3 up here in Kentucky. Then they don't have to offer you a cheap lunch special. Well, I guess that makes sense. They don't have to clean their grills.
Well, they don't have to offer it to you from the start with. They don't want to.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was a weird time. I mean, it's good for me to know that, because whenever if we want to go out to dinner somewhere, my two favorite, well, actually I have three favorite places to go to. They all three have meat. I am not a vegan, vegetarian tree hugger. I'm not. So then they say, where you want to go? I'm either going to tell you Longhorn or Oakwood Fire and Grill
Olive
or,
Garden.
huh?
Olive Garden.
Well, that's the other, but they don't have really meat either. Well, they do and they don't. Or the Texas Roadhouse. But I do like Olive Garden a lot. But I don't know why, because I always get the exact same thing every time I go. I never change.
But I find something to eat at every one of those places. So
She
it's
knows,
not a
but I'll
problem.
tell you, I'll get a text saying, hey, I'm over here. I want me to bring you something from Olive Garden. That's what it said. Want me to bring you something from Olive Garden? And I'll say, yes. And she brings me the exact same thing that I order all the time.
Because that's what you order all the time.
All the time. I love it.
Yeah.
The problem with this, though, I think maybe as you get older, you don't eat as much for some reason. But it's almost getting to the point it's almost too much to eat. But I force myself to eat it.
It's because you haven't been, the last few months, you've been trying to keep this weight off.
I was 226 this morning when I got up.
So you're not eating the way you used to.
That is before I pooped.
So you're not eating the way you used to eat.
I think I got cancer.
No, I think you're worried about diet. You won't say that word. Don't tell anybody you're on a diet. Men don't say that, but you're on a diet.
I'm not on a diet. I'm just trying to maintain since I lost that weight.
Okay, maintaining.
That's all I'm doing. Maintaining. That's why I weigh myself every day.
That's what I said, you know.
I have noticed one thing. If I eat, you can believe this. If I eat an ice cream bar before I go to bed, which I kind of got in the habit, because Buddy likes them, so he eats it with me. And so when I eat an ice cream bar and go to bed, and I get up next day, believe this or not, I gain 1.5 pounds.
I believe it.
From one ice cream bar?
I believe
I am shocked. And then if I don't have one the next day, the next morning when I get up and weigh myself, I lost that 1.5 pounds.
I believe it. Every time I do it, the same thing.
The ice cream bar don't even weigh 1.5 pounds.
Sugar. It's sugar.
I don't believe that.
Well, like I said, you've seen it. Proof's in the pudding, what your mom would say.
Well, there is a report that says all of this substitute sugar, there's a whole list of them. The pink is one. The yellow is another one. I don't know all the different sugars. I go by color. Green, blue, orange. I mean, you got all these colors. But there was a list of them saying those are contributing to maintaining body fat around the waist. That if you've got a lot of body fat around the waist and you want to curb that, but you don't really want to be on a diet, they said get rid of these substitutes because that's what's causing it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I read that.
I think that makes a big difference because I said I've used the artificial sugar for years. And once I use regular sugar, it makes a difference in my weight overnight.
Yeah, but here's the one thing that I noticed about sugar-free. Coke, Diet Coke, that's sugar-free, right? I think it's addictive. Everybody I know that drinks Diet Coke will not drink anything else.
Well, and I know it's a difference in the taste. It's too sweet now. If I drink regular Coke, it's just too sweet for me. That's why I drink the diet. If I drink it, I don't drink that much pop anymore at all.
Maybe we should all start drinking whiskey.
I could do that.
I don't know any cowboy that was fat.
Well, I said, you know, I'm a bourbon person, and you don't drink bourbon.
Well, I don't know.
Sip it.
That big bottle, that whatever his name is that brought you, it's in the freezer right now. You notice it's almost all gone.
I noticed.
I've been pouring it in. Well, you get them bottle Cokes. They're really great. I drink the top part, then I fill it back up with that, and then I'll drink it.
Well, if you notice, every time I go to Cards, I use this. But yeah, bourbon you don't drink, you sip it.
By the way, this lady's Cards Day around here, all it is a gab about how rotten my husband is, and the grandkids came over, and boy, I'm glad I don't have kids anymore, and they're all drinking wine.
Oh, have you ever been to them?
Huh?
Have you ever been to them?
I know that's what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
I know that's what you're doing.
Okay.
My grandpa would get the chills. Ooh.
Beverly M says, hello, everyone from Panama City, Florida. Well, hello, Beverly. How are you doing today? It's just a beautiful day here today. It really, really is. And I said, in my head, I'm going over what's for supper.
Supper?
Well, what's for supper?
You've got leftover chili in there.
Well, yeah. And Claire May said that's a Ronald Reagan joke.
It is. That's what I said. It's no Ronald Reagan joke.
Yeah, yeah.
Ronald Reagan was really known for that, stories. I should be president because I got stories out the wazoo.
Okay.
Nobody would understand them.
Beverly M says, yes, there is a summer and winter gas in Florida. I just Googled it.
That don't believe everything you read on Google. That's like believing all your politics off TikTok.
Oh, okay. Ben Scarf says oxygenated fuel is to reduce air pollution in the summer months.
That might be true. I don't know. I'll have to
Yeah.
check that out because that sounds legit. Because I do know the air pollution in Florida and Miami and stuff is kind of a big deal. By the way, you're going to hear reports a lot, maybe you already have, about the condo problem in southern part of Florida. Used to be around Boca Raton. That's where all the Jewish people used to go to retire years ago. And those people are being charged like $200,000 and $300,000 now. They got a one-time payment to get. Anyway, all that stuff that you read down there ain't necessarily all the condos up and down the shoreline. Like Panama City has a lot of condos and things like that. It's there. And I don't know how that condo is set up, but here's the crux of the matter of what I've got. It goes back 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, when that condo association was set up, that when it came to doing maintenance there, they had to have a condo meeting and all the residents there had to vote on whether to do this maintenance and how much it was going to cost and blah, blah, blah. Over the next 20 years, all the residents there voted no for everything. And it's gotten to the point now where the condos are in such dire need of repair that the people that bought them condos that are there now, that's been there now for 20 years, they've been complaining about getting repairs done, but now there's no money because they didn't want to do anything. And the people that used to be there are dead and gone. And so the county and everything has stepped in saying this has got to be done where we're going to condemn this building because people can't live here anymore. And so that's what's going on. So, but that's not the whole state of Florida. It's just this area down there.
Yeah, where they had one condo that collapsed, and like I said, that has changed the way that some of the condo associations have thought about the insurance and what they have to do.
Because at one point I actually thought that the condo living might be a way to go. Because condos, you can get them right on the beachfront. You ain't got to worry about a hurricane. Them things are built like Fort Knox. You've never heard of a condo being blown over by a hurricane. And I got a friend that I work with, his wife's father owned a condo right up there on the beach at Panama City. And it's still there.
Kevin says, life here is great. A new band is playing at Brownwood Friday night. It's called Let There Be Rock. Yeah, and they're trying out some new ones. There's a new one at...
they're getting them trained for that new Foursquare.
They're getting them trained, yeah. But there's a new one at Sawgrass tonight. It's called Better in Boots. That's a brand new one that's playing tonight at Sawgrass. So they're trying out some new ones because, I mean, think about it. This place is 30 years old. So some of the bands that they've got's getting pretty long in the tooth. And most of them was retired to start with when they come down here. So they're going to have to do some replacement. And like I said, with the new square, they're going to need more bands. The lady that books this entertainment, and I got to show you. This is what I got out of the paper. And like I said, this is our entertainment section. And they have, for the Sharon, they have all these for the Sharon. I don't know if you can see that very good.
You still got internet connection?
I don't know. I didn't look.
Well, you better look because we might be talking to ourselves here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I believe so. No problem. But that was all, those are all 2 pages of the Sharon and what they got coming. And one page is the Savannah Center. They also have the Sharon, which is another big theater. And all these are at the Sharon. This one here is for the Tracy, which is our new performing arts center down in the southern part, next to Middleton. And the Tracy is a beautiful performing arts center, just like the Sharon is. And I'm going to a concert down there on the 28th, I believe. And I said I really, really like the place, and it's a little farther to go for us, but not much farther than going to the Sharon, because we'd have to go to Spanish Springs for that. But they just got some really good entertainment coming, and a lot of it is tribute bands. I don't know where I think during COVID we got into the tribute band thing, which I'm not crazy about that myself, but a lot of people don't care. I mean, they love that kind of thing. And I think tonight that they have the Dixie's Tupperware party. That's September 29th. And I just think that that sounds like so much fun. And on October 22nd, they got the honeymooners from New York to the Villagers. I think that'd be a lot of fun too. But other than that, they've got a lot of good bands going on. And the Tracy's got Smash Mouth, Tuba Skinny, Lance Burton, Master Magician.
Oh, he's been here for a while though.
Carolyn Ray, Billy Ocean, the Spin Doctors. I mean, they're going to have some good entertainment down there, just same as they do up here. That's one thing we don't have to worry about here. I mean, you're entertained at the squares. A lot of the restaurants and the country clubs have their own entertainment. Most of the country clubs have something on the weekend. They have entertainers of some kind.
I know Evans Prairie has them every Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, and so, you never want for entertainment around here, that's for sure.
Just sit in your front porch and watch the old people try to figure out how to get there.
It's not funny.
They stop in the middle of the road and they point.
Oh, and let me see. This weekend is the cruise in at Spanish Springs from 4 to 9. And if you've never been there, I said go look at the cars, and they usually have some great music playing. And I said you just kind of walk around looking at these cool cars and seeing what kind of these guys display their cars like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I seen one that had a Cadillac that had an Elvis in the back of it. And like I said, that was a while ago, not every week, but every month they have these. And I think it's like the third Saturday of the month, something like that. But really, really cool. And then in September 28th, they have the car club at Brownwood. And it's from 5 to 9. They always have beautiful cars down there. And this is all denominations of cars. I said, usually one is a certain club puts on the cruise in. And so it's all that kind of cars. But the car club is for all cars that's 30 years and older. And they bring them into Brownwood. Also, very, very fun. And then we have National Take Back Day is for disposal of unwanted drugs. That's on October 26th from 10 to 2, the Wildwood PD. You can get a disposal packet if you contact the CAP at sumtercap@gmail.com and provide a mailing address and a zip code, or a baggie with your name, with the name blacked out on the pill bottle. I mean, you can drop them off. There's 3 different places you can drop them off. The 550 East McCullum Avenue in Bushnell, 7361 Powell Road in Wildwood, and Sumter County Clerk of Courts in the Villages Annex at 8033 East County Road 466. There's also a new restaurant coming, and I don't think they've decided where they're coming, but you all know that we're getting a Hooters. Well, Hooters now are in conjunction with a place called Tacos and Tequila. So that's going to be a new venture we're going to get to, and
I'm going to Hooters.
They're seeking a location
where
right
man
now.
is king.
Okay. So tonight's entertainment is Spanish Springs is Crossfire from 5 to 9. Lake Sumter Landing is Uncle Bob's Rock Shop from 5 to 9. Brownwood is Scooter the DJ from 5 to 9. Sawgrass is Better in Boots from 5 to 9. Tierra del Sol from 3 to 5 has Becky Baby. McGrady's from 2 to 4 has Shelby Lauren. Blondie's from 2 to 4 has Harry Love. And Edna's from 4 to 7 has Dale Stumbo. So like I said, we don't lack any entertainment around here. And that's something you can, go do tonight and enjoy. And I said,
Joy
the evening's
says,
getting cooler.
talking about them condos, she said they gave us, so apparently she's down there, I guess. So they gave us less than a 2-year deadline to fully fund reserves on 50-year-old buildings. Most people are on fixed incomes and struggling to get financing for the assessments on them condos.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's kind of a mess down there. I think DeSantis went down there and had a meeting to try to figure something out. I don't know if they figured anything out or not, but I feel for the people because they bought these things. And it's almost like the HOA or somebody down there has really made a mess of everything, and now the people are getting the bill for this. So I don't know.
Yeah. Beverly M says Panama City Beach, Texas Roadhouse opens at 3 to 10. On Saturday and Sunday, they open at 11. And then we had different hours for this one here, too,
They
for
do?
Saturday and Sunday, yeah.
So from now on, if we want to have lunch with somebody there, we got to do it on the weekend. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, if you want to do lunch, yeah.
Hmm.
Is 3 too much out of your realm?
Well, I like having lunch around 1 o'clock.
Yeah, okay. And Miss Vicky just laughed, so okay. Charlotte Como, Texas Roadhouse opens at 3 Monday through Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday they open at 11 on weekends.
That must be a thing.
Yeah, okay.
They know what they're doing.
Um,
I was just thinking one in Muncie when we went there. I know I've been there for lunch. I don't know what time they opened, though.
but now we always went on the weekends because that's
We
when
always
you were
went
home.
on the weekend, and I'm positive we would stop by there sometimes coming back from shopping or whatever. Sometimes it was dark, and we drive around the parking lot looking for a place to park because the place was full.
Yeah. Okay. Ken Webb says restaurants have a hard time getting help in Ohio. Some of our local may or may not open patio dining due to help. Yeah, that's a big problem everywhere nowadays. And I'm, I never was convinced that they couldn't find help. But nowadays, so many people have jobs because, the unemployment rate went down so far. So many people have jobs that I don't imagine there's many people looking for that kind of work anymore.
What kind of work?
For restaurant work.
I don't know. Some of these girls down here make pretty good tips. Old people tip really well.
Yeah.
They may be on fixed income, but I'm here to tell you, when they get off that golf course and they go in and have a burger and a beer, it is nothing for somebody to leave a $20 tip on a $10 hamburger. I'm telling you, I've seen it.
And Ms. Vicky says Texas Roadhouse opens in Western North Carolina at 3. Yeah, that seems to be the norm during the week, and then on the weekends they open at 11. And Mr. Rizzo says ice cream is full of sugar.
Well, I know everybody blames sugar for everything. I'm just not sure that I believe it makes you gain 1.5 pounds overnight.
The proof's in the pudding. What did I say? You've weighed yourself how many times when you've done that?
I just was experimenting. I thought, why am I gaining 1.5 pounds like this? There have been other nights where I've actually gained 2 and 3 pounds overnight.
Yeah.
And then by the next morning, so then I think about it. Now, what did I eat last night? Because I have a tendency to eat before I go to bed. And I know that's the worst thing in the world because you're not burning anything off, but I do. It goes back to my trucking days. That's when I trucked. That's when I ate. And so 10 o'clock at night, I may not eat nothing all day long. She said, we don't eat nothing. I'm not hungry. But then 10 o'clock at night, she's in bed sleeping. I'm still up editing videos or doing something. And that's when it kicks in. And I'm out in the refrigerator looking for stuff like leftover chili or donuts, which I haven't had in months.
Is that my cue to buy donuts? I thought about it the other day. I
haven't had a donut so long that whenever I do go on the road, like when I took Scooter home, I stopped got donuts twice.
Yeah, and that's about the only time I ever ate them was when we was on the road.
Well, no. If you watch the video, that ain't true. Coming back, that last home, they're just south of Macon, that Bucky's there. I was going to go in there. From the highway, I looked over there. It was, because it was on a weekend, it was, you wouldn't believe it. The exit ramp. They were lined up coming down the exit ramp. I thought, well, I'm not going over there and fighting that. Then down the road was that Raceway. But I knew the gas prices there was probably a good 10 cents higher per gallon. When you look at convenience and your time, 10 cents a gallon, I don't care. I'm going down there.
Yeah.
So I went down there, and there was nobody there. And I went in and got gas, and I walked inside. Them icy buns? I don't know what they're called. I call them icy buns.
Yeah.
The buns with
the icing on them.
With the icing on them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go in there and get me a couple of those to munch on with my coffee as I go down the road, because I was going to make a cup of coffee. Went inside, walked around. None. Of all the places in the world to stop, everybody's got these things. This is nothing new. Everybody's got them. That place didn't have any. I asked the lady, I said, do you have any icy buns? A what? I don't know what they're called. It's just a big bun, cinnamon kind of bun with the icing on top of it. I don't think so. She said, did you see any of it? I thought to myself, well, did you just see me over here walking around looking? They didn't have any.
Beverly M says whiskey has a lot of sugar in it.
All alcohol has sugar in it. That's what makes it alcohol.
Yeah.
Beer has a lot. But I don't drink that much beer. I get accused of it a lot because I had the habit to it become a thing. When we sit here for Porch Settin, or when we did Wednesday Night Live, it was just a thing that I always had to have a beer, and I had the beer of the day thing, and so that was it. It was just a thing, and it was. But everybody said every time they turned on Porch Settin, I'm drinking a beer. Every time they turned on WNL, I'm drinking a beer. And so next thing you know, I guess I'm this side of an alcoholic. And Sue told him, she said he'll get a case of beer, and that case may be in there for 6 months, because I just don't drink that much. But I will tell you though, since I've quit and I don't have to worry about a CDL license anymore, and I don't drive drinking whatsoever at all, never did. But I do drink more beer now than I ever have. That don't mean I drink a lot. I haven't had a beer for 3 or 4 days now, but I might have one today. But that's it.
Yeah, Teresa Elton says, I sure wish I was porch sitting with you both. Well, we wish you was here too. And like I said, we're just sitting here enjoying the
Are
day.
you a Republican? Because I need somebody on my side.
Oh, my gosh.
That's why they call us the right wing, because we're right. You're left of wrong.
Okay. Yeah, Overjoyed says deferred maintenance on older condos. Yeah.
Yeah, deferred maintenance. That's it. That is what they said.
And Stevens,
I just feel sorry for the people down there because there was one lady, they were showing her house. I can't believe that maintenance like that go like that. Her ceiling was falling in. That's just unexcusable to me.
Stephen Zelensky says high fructose corn syrup is terrible for you. It is. And I said, that's one thing you got to remember to do is read labels. Read your labels, because some things I did not imagine had some of the stuff in it that it does. Ketchup. Ketchup is full of sugar. Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, it's because tomatoes is full of acid.
Well, acid I can handle. Sugar.
Some ketchup bottle somewhere in the past 30 years has got tobacco juice in it. Remember I told you that story?
Yes, I remember.
Another story I could tell. I should do a list of story things and post them on Patreon.
I thought you were doing that.
No, I did a couple and I didn't do any more, but I got people telling me, you should do them story things, because they say, you tell stories well. I don't really try to say anything well. I just rattle on about stories.
Overjoyed says they gave us less than a 2-year deadline to fully fund reserves on 50-year-old buildings. Most people are fixed incomes and struggling to get financing for the assessments. Yeah, that's why it was so, and I'm hoping my neighbor bought a condo in Naples, and she's got it for sale, basically because she travels too much and she wants to kind of slow down a little bit.
It has anything to do with that.
But I'm hoping that doesn't have anything to do with her, so she'll be able to sell it. But
Naples is a little high class. I don't think you'll have that problem there. We've been to Naples. Beautiful city to visit. A lot of restaurants that are great. A little pricey, but it's okay if you don't do it every day. We went down for my second $100 dinner for 2 of us. And I'm still from the Midwest. When I got a bill for $100, not including tip, I mean, it's just like, whoa.
And this was back a few years.
Yeah. The first one was when our neighborhood was new. I think it was Tanya and her husband set up a Christmas dinner over at that golf course at a town that I thought she was joking about the name.
Okay, it was Mission Hills, and the town was...
What is the town? Howie in the Hills.
Howie in the Hills.
She said, we're having Howie in the Hills. I said, really? I said, what town is that? She said, what's called Howie in the Hills? I said, there's no way there's a town here called Howie in the Hills.
It's a beautiful retirement place. It really, or resort. And
so she reserved this place over there. Each table, they were large tables. We all had our own personal butler for the table. And that's right.
But the food was buffet.
Yeah, but it wasn't like any normal buffet. No. This was swanky.
Yeah, and the seafood. Oh my gosh, the seafood was fresh and just
fresh mimosas he made at the table and all kinds of stuff like that. And for us to get there, we had to pay it up front. It was $100 a couple. That was my first 100. That's when I thought, holy shit, I don't know if I can afford to live here.
That time it's Christmas. I'm worth that much.
We never paid that before.
John Keller says line dancing to Scooter tonight at the Brownwood.
Yeah. Sounds
cool. Love Scooter.
We were invited by Ira last night. I don't know what he was talking about going down to the Brownwood World of Beer, I think it was, Saturday. I forget the hours. Somebody's playing down there, and we were all invited to come down there as a group.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going. You know that.
Okay.
Anytime you get in a group like that, here's the first thing that happens. It ain't the idea of going out and meeting people. I'm fine with that. Sitting down, having a beer and a burger, talking, I'm fine with that. But whenever there's somebody playing that we all know, let's get him up on stage. That's what they always do, and that's why I don't go, because I am
And
not.
you know, I'm thinking you're sitting here in front of
I'm not
a
on
camera.
stage. I'm not on stage.
You are. The world is your stage.
No, if you
16,
get on stage,
17,000
if you get on
people.
stage with these people, they can put you in a spot, and I'm always leery of that. They can ask you something on stage in front of people, and you got nowhere to go. Here, I'm in control.
That's what you think. Okay, Kevin said he'd be here at 2. Okay, Kevin, we're waiting.
Who?
Kevin.
What about it?
He said he'd be here at 2.
For what?
To get you golf clubs.
Oh, okay.
Okay. John Keller says, to the moon, Alice, to the moon.
That's what I always say. More than once I've said that. To the moon!
William Rizzo says,
Bang, zoom!
I'm starting a new band called the STDs and the Loofahs.
There you go. Sounds like a good one.
Yep. Paul Roof says, don't miss Tuba Skinny. Saw them in New Orleans about 10 years ago. Got me hooked on blues. I love blues. That's why I love Bobby Blackman so much. And Tuba Skinny. I mean, you just don't find those everywhere. You know, those kind of players are just terrific to me. You know, both my boys played the blues, and I thought
Bobby, what's his name? Bobby
Blackman.
Bobby Blackman, yeah. I like him. He's getting up there in age, and he's had a bout with cancer, and
he does better than you do. I've seen him.
Well, I know he's getting along okay, but he's just getting up there. The day's going to come where he just ain't gonna do it anymore.
Well, now they've got.
And here's the thing about this age discrimination down here: a lot. How many old people do you see up on stage doing anything? They're promoting now these newer bands because they're playing a different style of music because Gen X is moving in, and we've always said that's what's going to happen. When we first moved in, the '50s rock and roll was everywhere.
Yeah, everything was doo-wop.
Now we're probably in the '60s and '70s kind of music, kind of like, and down there they're pushing the '80s and maybe '90s. The day's coming you'll hear rap. I'm not going to be here when that happens, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Where can I get some weed? Well, Bob, if you've got a doctor's permit down here, and that's what you got to get, a legal weed I'm talking about, you got to go to your doctor. I think Tommy told me it cost him, I want to say, it was either $200 or $400. I don't know which one it was. They give you a thing. Is that a year? I don't know. A lifetime? I don't know what that is. But you go to the different dispensaries around here, and there's quite a few, I guess, around the villages. And I asked him once, I said, when you go in, I said, are you limited on how much stuff you can drag out that door? He said, yeah. He said, it depends on how much money you got in your pocket is how much you can buy. So apparently you can, with that doctor's permit thing, you can buy as much marijuana stuff, because he don't buy smoking weed. He gets suckers and candy and whatever else all that other stuff is. So I'm kind of dumb about a lot of it. I know that there's a lot of people that buys oil, and you put them in vape pens. CBD. Is that the good stuff though?
I don't know.
That's the marijuana. You know what people want? They want the stuff that makes you high.
Yeah.
And
I don't think.
What is it? I don't know what high is.
Well,
I mean, do you see pink elephants walking around the streets? I mean, I don't know what high is.
We're kind of clueless when it comes to that.
I am clueless when it comes to drugs because I don't do it. Well, I mean, the illegal drugs. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just get a doctor's thing, and you can go in and out and buy whatever you want.
Yeah. Hey, Sam Z, we're getting ready to go. Glad you're here.
I will say this though about some things that I've seen. First of all, don't get caught driving when you've taken some of this. I'm telling you, they're wise to it here. Second of all, if you go up and buy some, you're taking it home, make sure you have your doctor's thing on you in case you get pulled over for running a red light. And if you don't, you're going to get arrested. So they're really strict on it.
Oh, and Joseph Smith says, see you guys in 2 weeks. We're going to Asheville, North Carolina next week to drive the Blue Ridge Parkway. Well, it's beautiful up there, Joseph. It is. So
we took a motorcycle trip up there, didn't we? Yeah.
Actually, a couple of them. John Keller says, vodka is not just for breakfast anymore. Okay. And Coca-Cola used to have cocaine. That's right, it did.
Did it?
Yeah. Back when they first made it. Of course, that's, since been
Is that
taken
why they
off.
call it Coke?
Could be. Yeah. And we're over our limit, so we're going to have to go.
Oh, okay. Did you announce whatever it was you needed to announce?
And I did that already, so. Tamma Jamma, hey, Good to
William,
see
can
you.
I stop by next week and we can smoke a joint? No, you can't, William. Not here.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't do that stuff here,
Nope.
so.
You can have a beer, but we're not smoking joints out here.
Yeah. Let's see.
Or Joy says insurance has more. Did you already read that? About the insurance? Says it's more than doubled along with property taxes. How much can you reasonably expect to change retirees on? You know, I'll say one thing, Overjoyed. I'm not really in on what every town commission around here is different. There's a lot of people think that what goes on in Miami is exactly what goes on here in the villages. That's not true at all. Every county's different. Tax rates and all that stuff. So I don't know what goes into that. I don't know, but I will say this. I would have thought that Florida is known for basically three things, but let's narrow it down to two. Tourism and retirees. That's where the money's here. And this place has been a retiree state for, God, far back as I can remember. That if nothing else, I would have thought there'd be laws here that protect retirees in a lot of ways. Not just safety for your health and all that, but financially. I know of a bank CEO in Indiana that when the bank went out of business, somehow this guy walked away with like $4 million. He was taken to court in Indiana and found guilty, and he had to repay that $4 million. Well, guess where that $4 million was? He had a house down around, I don't even know, Florida somewhere, and it was in a bank down there in like some kind of investment thing down here. He probably knew these people because he was a bank guy. Florida refused to send that money back to Indiana because they protected retirees in Florida and their income. And they wouldn't send it back, and there was nothing Indiana could do about it. I know that for facts. What was the name of that bank? Because Dad had to go get a lawyer to get his money back.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I can't remember the name of the bank. You can Google it. You guys believe in Google, right?
Okay.
But I would have thought they'd have more things in place, strict things in place to protect retirees' income and to keep them coming. And one would be the cost of living. And I don't really see that here. Maybe it is going on behind closed doors, but in the villages with things in the way it's growing and as big as it's getting, I don't really see that. I do see some things where they're trying to hold maybe costs back, but then a year or two down the road, if you've got a memory and remember some of this, you can see where it comes back 2 years from now. Like they give $2 million to keep that assessment down there, that rate hike down there down. Well, that $2 million ain't going to last forever. And there's a couple of people that brought it up in their meeting that they had down there, and they're exactly right. One was a woman, another was a guy saying, well, what are we going to do 2 years from now? They're right, because 2 years from now, that 56% increase is going to jump in. And then there you are.
Yeah.
So, but guess what? They don't care because the house is sold. Once that house is sold, it's your problem. The developer got his money. They got their property tax thing approved over here at Wildwood Commission. They're getting their money, and you're the one left holding the bag. And that's all we're trying to do is to show you that's what's going on, and how you rectify that. I'm not in politics. I don't know.
Okay, I think we're done.
Oh, we're done.
So we will see you next Wednesday. Make sure you watch Skip on
Hey,
the on the
let
news.
me ask you real quick while I'm bent over and looking kind of stupid here. It's probably on this Friday's news, I think, where I asked you guys on Patreon is going to get your news here in an hour. So I'm asking a question. I'm thinking I don't want to do videos much anymore because everybody's doing the same thing, and I'm bored with it. So this being election kind of year, and I'm not going to really get into it that much, but I had a thought on Monday, a lot like Friday news, of doing the political temperature here of what letters are being sent into the editor. And I'm going to read the political news from both sides of what other people are saying. And I thought about doing a 10 or 15 minute video every Monday on that. So give me your idea what you think
Until
about
after
that.
the election?
Well, it's be political. There's some political comments about the Wildwood Commission, political comments about, of course, the presidential race, the political comments about Governor DeSantis, all kinds of political stuff that people make comments about. And I'll let you guys decide whether you believe it, don't believe it, whatever, agree, don't agree. I'm thinking about doing it. Or here's the other thought. Don't do any of it because I don't want people. There's a lot of people that come to my channel and other channels like mine to get away from that nonsense. They don't want to hear it. So I wanted to get your idea what you think.
Okay. Otherwise, we see you.
Otherwise,
There's the
who
cabin.
is that?
Mr. Kevin. Ah, buddy, how did you get unfastened?
I don't know how he got off.
Did you unfasten him?
It's right there underneath your seats.
Well, I didn't unfasten him.
Kevin showed off, and Buddy's off the leash.
What's up, bud? Oh, what's up?
Bye.